Merhaba and welcome to episode 18 of The Lion's Den, a Galatasaray podcast done by the community for the community. From all around the universe, I'm your host Samet, and a big applause to my fellow podcast members who actually managed to be on time, except for John's pre-shit that he needed to take. Let's go to New York, America, Emre and Yasin. How are you guys doing?
Doing good, dude.
Good, bro. I'm happy to be back. I miss you guys. I feel like it's been 2 weeks since we've had a podcast.
Oof, love
I feel
the
like
energy.
It's been quite some time, and I miss having all you guys together at the same time.
Yasin's gonna come with some heat today, man. I can feel it. I can tell.
John,
Oh yeah, bro. There's a lot to talk about.
I haven't announced you yet. You can't speak, John. Dude.
Damn it was a surprise.
Prize blown, yeah.
Yeah. Since you're speaking from Toronto, Canada, Pokemon Master John, I have a question for you, John.
Okay.
What Pokemon would Fatih Terim be?
Fatih Terim. I think. That's an easy one. There's only one god Pokemon. His name is Arceus. I don't know if you guys know this. He's the god Pokemon. So of course, God have to be Fatih Terim.
Oh wow.
Not a Charizard
No.
for the
no.
OGs among us.
I mean, if for the OGs,
Among
yeah,
Us.
sure.
Yeah.
I think it would be more like a Magikarp, no?
No,
no,
come on.
You're talking
Oh,
about
No, that's turn.
Oh,
well, from Melbourne, Australia, Mazhar, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm
Magikarp?
doing good. Last podcast we had, it was a bit warmer in Melbourne, but now it's actually getting pretty cold.
Nice.
But it's good to be back in the podcast.
Well, good
Felt
to
like a
have you.
piece of my soul was missing in that week or two we took off.
Yeah, it's been a long time. And finally,
Is it-
from the
Wait,
kingdom.
on Mazhar.
Yeah.
If I may. You're saying it's colder, right? You're getting into winter or
Yeah, we just got into winter and it's like 8 degrees right now.
like what? 20 degrees.
Yeah.
Oh, 4. Okay.
Yeah, it's like 7 or 8 degrees Celsius.
Bro, that's what I was gonna say. He's like, oh, it's colder now. It's dropped down to 25, bro.
I know. Exactly.
Come on, man.
But
It's
7 degrees, that's
freezing.
actually that's pretty shit.
Yeah.
Well, Kingdom of the Netherlands, Salih. Do you have a fact for us this week?
Yes, I do.
Ooh,
Okay.
nice.
This one on our since we're all Muslims, this would be fun for us in a way. Apparently, in 2007, the FBI sent an informant to spy on Muslims at a mosque. This happens to be in Orange County in California, and they pretended to be one of them to hopefully lure out terrorists. After making troubling remarks, the mosque members reported them to the FBI, suspecting that they are terrorists, which is
That's actually
Nice.
unbelievable.
exactly. That's pretty sick, not gonna lie. It happened in 2007, as I said before. So
well, thank you for all that knowledge, as usual, Salih. Well,
I'm very intrigued.
honestly, I shut down and I haven't heard what you said, but I'll re-listen to it.
Don't worry.
Yeah.
You'll enjoy it in editing. Let us know what you thought about it, okay?
I'll let you guys know.
you may even cut it out. You never know.
I may not even exist.
Yeah. Anyway, to all our listeners, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Today's podcast, we will mainly point out our memorable moments in the 21-22 season and mainly create a tier list of all our players. The season has ended. The Spor Toto Süper League Ahmet Çalık season, that is. And some of you might be thinking, what is a tier list? Never heard of it. Well,
Me neither.
I'll tell you because I can read Wikipedia very well. A tier list, not a chair list, but a tier list, is a concept in video game culture where playable characters or other in-game elements are subjectively ranked by their respective viability as part of a list. Characters listed high on the tier list of a specific game are considered to be very powerful. Now, this is video game culture, right? So you have a S rank, A rank, B rank, C rank, D rank, E rank, F rank. And we're gonna put all of our players on this list. So this felt like explaining this to my grandpa, but anyway, maybe we can proceed. Do we have some memorable moments for Spor Toto Süper Lig Ahmet Çalık season?
There's not very many, I guess, positive moments in the season, but there was being with you guys in the stadium was a good moment. The Beşiktaş derby, that was fun. That was a bit of fun, I have to say. But I didn't have too much fun watching from home this year.
Yeah,
It's
same.
it's the first match who set up the rest of the season, right? After Marcao punched Kerem in the face, that's when you realize that, oh boy, it's going to be one of those, right? And well, it
Yeah.
turned it out to be, fortunately.
Yeah.
Sad times in general.
At times, indeed.
Yeah. Oh well. Let's just go straight to all the players and discuss it. I'm sharing this, by the way, on YouTube, and you can follow us like on the screen as well while we do it if you prefer. But don't go watch it on YouTube. Just listen on Spotify. I think that's the best. All right. So to put a stamp on it, shall we discuss maybe someone that we can all agree on as S tier?
Ömer Bayram.
Straight to the top. I have just two in mind. I don't know if we're all on the same wavelength. Well, I think everyone can agree. I think Kerem will be one of our S tier. Does everyone agree with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, like everyone knows every single game we played this year, we pretty much he looked like the only way we were going to score in like 90% of our games. So I think
100%.
yeah, I think it's fair to stick him right at the top. And obviously this was the best season of his career so far. Attracted a lot of eyes, and we're still waiting to see what's going to happen, if he's going to make a move or stay or whatever happens, but I don't want to speak for everyone, but I think we might all be on the same page with this one.
With Kerem, you mean?
Yeah, with Kerem.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, definitely. He deserves to be S tier. I mean, as you said before, pretty much our most consistent attacking outlet, and the most times that his individual skill pulled us through games has to be Kerem. I mean, the only real player you could put there, in my opinion.
Just to
So-
give some quick stats on Kerem, I do agree, S tier. I mean, he's been our best performing player. He played over 50 games, scored 13 all across the different leagues, and assisted 12. And that's very good for a winger. I think Luis Diaz from Liverpool is like 40 million and has very comparable stats to him as well.
Yeah.
I mean, he did play half a season, but still.
Mm.
I get what you're saying, and I mean, it is Kerem's, you could say, first actual season in the Super League, not as just a player who comes on the field for 10 to 15 minutes. So for a first proper season, also considering how bad we've been throughout this season, he's been really solid. Definitely S tier for me.
Do we have anyone disagreeing with this? Speak
This
up.
one's a no-brainer.
Okay. If you, as a listener, think he shouldn't be on S, feel free to come and defend yourself on the podcast. All right, let's go to the complete opposite. F, total garbage, total absolute trash.
Yeah,
That's actually a
again,
good
there's one that comes to mind.
Oh, who is it? The one.
Well,
One.
yeah,
I also have one.
I think
Ismail Chipe.
Well, okay, here's the
Exactly.
thing. Here's the
Oh,
thing.
no.
In my
I
head,
can't.
in my pre-pod tier list, I was gonna put Ismail Chipe in like maybe, I don't know, D or E, but my F is probably, I would say, Arda. Arda Turan was fucking horrible, man. I don't know how else to put it. Like, yeah, he's just, I mean, he's at the stage in his career where we can't expect too much, but I don't know. Still, man, he went through. I don't know if you remember that little period where there was a few matches we were seeing him playing a little bit, and he came in with that belly. I don't know, man.
Yeah, F for fat ass işte.
Yeah.
There you go.
Aynen.
Can I propose that we put shared total absolute trash like with this guy Fatih Öztürk and this guy İsmail Cipe?
Look, with Ismail Chipe, I feel like D. No, sorry.
What?
Is that E? Yes.
Bro,
E.
he's 26.
E,
What do you
not
mean?
D.
What do you
No,
mean?
E, because look,
Okay.
there's a certain capability that Ismail Chipe has. And I feel like we just threw him in the deep end and we're like, come on, do something.
And
Like,
then-
why aren't you doing something? Come on, like poking him with the stick. Like,
Yeah.
Emre,
there's
can
only
you
so
kick-
much
can
you
you
can
kick
do.
Mazhar from the Discord?
I agree with him. Kick me too while you're at it then. Because
Let's go. We'll play Warzone.
Yo,
I don't mind. Let's go play Rebirth. Yeah, you can only expect so much from him, right? Ismail Cipe was always going to be that guy who's our third or fourth option. If you want to blame anybody for Ismail Cipe coming in after Muslera's injury and doing poorly, you have to blame whoever built that squad with Ismail Cipe as plan B, right?
How many times?
I thought he was okay. A couple times he made a couple good saves. Other times you saw the difference in skill between him and a good goalie like Iñaki Peña or Muslera. That's why I can't really do him injustice and say F. I might even go as far to say maybe a D, because there's players who did worse for what I expected them than Ismail Cipe, and I guess we can get to that. But I don't know, between D and E for me, definitely not F.
now that I think about it, I'd also rate him higher because whenever there's a fight, İsmail Cipe is always like the first one helping out the team. So,
Yeah.
Adam.
Is that is that one of the considerations we're putting in? How likely
That
he
is
is
one
to
of
have your
my
back?
yes, that's
Like-
one of my
like who?
considerations.
Which guys today play would you like to go with a bar with? Ismail Cipe number one because it's got your back.
And then Markau because of slap him, bitch.
Okay.
You're a good
I
bodyguard.
Then Marca will slap you.
No, I
Exactly.
bring Arda Turan. He has the gat in the car, bro.
I hear enough arguments
Facts.
to not put him on F. Okay. Yeah, pick one, and we can just do it.
choose a player,
So,
and then we can.
so
just
how
do it.
about Luyendama? Is he like F borderline? Because he was always
Ooh.
like our plan C/D for defender, right? We had Markau and we had Markau and Nelson as A and B, right? Our main two. And then if it was Turkish, I guess it was between like what's his name? Unuttum şimdi, Alparslan and maybe Luyendama if we have that foreigner spot. But we put him on the field and he's injuring our own players. We sent him on a loan, and like, yes, he was playing consistently according to SofaScore. I didn't follow exactly how he did, but then I think he shit the bed for his international team. I think he injured his own player over there too.
Yes,
Keep me
yes.
honest, I'm not sure.
Did he?
So
Did he?
that's kind of borderline F. And then you also have to think about, we just extended this guy. We spent around 7 million total, loan plus purchase. And then we realized, okay, he's actually not that good. His contract is ending, so let's extend him and hope that he does okay to sell him for a couple million. And that's looking unlikely unless I don't know about it. He played amazing in wherever he went, which I don't think he did. But that's borderline F for me, guys. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I don't know how someone can nosedive in like skill this hard because when he first came to us, he was actually I liked him. He's pretty good. Like his physical presence was something to like admire in the team.
Yeah.
But then like you said, this guy is literally injuring our own players. Like I don't know if he's playing for us or them. Like
It's so
Jesus.
funny.
Yeah,
doing
yeah.
Can you
I
put him
oh, sorry.
on the same spot as Arda Turan, who has done jack shit
I would
all
object.
season?
I would object. I would put him E. Look, okay, still horror, but he
Mm.
did win us the. What was it? Second, I guess Hatay. He had a winner, right? A header from I believe it was a corner or free kick. I don't really remember,
Yeah.
but he won us a
Okay.
game at least.
I'm
Right.
I'm gonna I think
And he did. How many games did he play? I think he played less than 10, so he still had an impact in those.
He played 8
few
games in
games
the
he played.
Super League and scored
Okay.
against Hatay Spor, the winner. The 3
Mhm.
points that we got from that game doesn't really do anything, to be honest, to our situation this season.
yeah.
In the end of it, no.
Ah.
But
All-
it was the
winner is a
second
winner.
game of the season, right? So
I'll
at that
jump in
moment.
on Luyendama, I think. So my pretty much my only problem with him is that, and the problem I had for a pretty long time is that like his technical ability is fucking horrible. Like he loses the ball for no reason in the most dangerous areas on the fucking pitch. And that like I couldn't see that anymore. It was just driving me crazy. Like defensively, I think he's pretty good. It's just that when he has the ball, he's really bad. And then randomly, he just started injuring everyone for his country and on our team as well. So yeah, I'm thinking like E maximum D, like impossible to go over D. So
No.
E?
one
E
Yeah.
is fine. I
Yeah.
think E is fine.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
E for El
And-
Bomba. There you
Yeah.
go.
yeah.
and on that thing that you mentioned, right? Like his technical ability is so bad. I also just don't get him as a player. Like he indeed is good as how should I say, the like a no nonsense center back who just
Yeah.
clears the ball away. But he does like to play the ball, right? But he's so bad at like why does he do that? Why
I
is he
know.
not instructed to just be what should I say? I don't even know the word.
Like he makes things so complicated for no
For no
reason.
reason.
Like
I
there
know.
literally won't be pressure or anything, and he'll give the ball away. And God forbid, bro, that there actually is pressure. The ball's gone. Like fucking forget about it. So
Okay.
Okay.
I want to bring up a player that's very
Halil?
close to my heart.
Oh, definitely Halil then.
here we
No.
go.
For me, I mean, I'd like to see what you think, but for me, this is just bam, like that. S tier. And for
Marcao
the people
and S tier.
watching,
Marca Estia.
Marcao.
You mean listening, but
Marcao.
yeah.
I think
Serie
these were my two. Like for me, I'm not putting anyone else in S tier. These were my two S tier players, and he was okay. Look, he made a mistake at the beginning. You know, him and Kerem had that altercation, but after that, I mean, he was phenomenal. Like
Mhm.
I don't even know what else to say. He was just excellent all season long, pretty much every game too.
Emre,
And we're talking about games against Barcelona. Like I don't know, he was fantastic, man.
Emre. So
Oh
that's
man,
Yeah.
that header.
that's S for sucker punch, right?
Yes.
Oh my god, you guys are banging those out today.
That's for
Holy
Superman.
shit.
Like you said, John, these two, if you don't have these two in the team just crumbles completely
Yep.
and just does not
Yep.
do anything. That's why I think these guys deserve to have S to all themselves because basically without them, this team would have maybe even relegated.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You know what? Now
Yeah.
that you say that, when you think about it, without these two players, we pretty much score no goals. We're already not
Mhm.
scoring any goals, so you can
Right.
forget about that. And we're conceding a lot more without Marcao too.
May
Yeah,
I
exactly.
play devil's advocate?
Here we
I
go.
would put him A tier. Why?
Why?
Okay, here it comes. Here it comes. Look.
We
okay,
did concede a lot of goals, though.
Listen.
Okay, let's hear him out. Let's hear him out.
Yeah. Let's hear my point, right? Okay, so he punched Karen, which is just dumb. He shouldn't have done that. Okay, fine, it happened, right? So he was banned for 8 games, I believe. And of those 8 games, we still did pretty well if you think about it. Like we only lost 2 and we drew 2. The Trabzon one where we went ahead and drew in the end. Same for Kasımpaşa. But besides that, we had pretty good run. And once he came back, we had I'll just summarize, but we had a 15 game period where we only won 2 times once he came back. So yes, he was still crucial, but we didn't get the points while he was with us. We were, in a weird way, actually doing pretty fine.
There's something you have to think about as well. We have 0 midfield this year and 0 defensive midfield. You're
And
putting
the
the centre
goals-
backs in a position.
Yeah.
Sorry.
The goals that came, Mazhar, do you
Yeah.
remember the Thailand fuck ups?
Yeah, they were
Or
exactly
Ömer
like
or whatever.
There were straight mishaps from our midfield a lot of the time, and you're putting our centre backs in a position where they have to defend against that. And being a former defender myself, when I used to play, it's the most frustrating thing when your own players lose the ball and they don't come back. They're just like watching the ball. It's like, yeah, I made a mistake. Like, yeah, let the centre backs worry about it. Let the goalie worry about it.
You were a
I think that's
defender?
why Marcao pushed. Yeah. I'm a failed winger, turned left back. So
Oh, I'm a failed winger turned right back.
what does he can't?
But yeah, no, I
Also,
feel you.
yeah, Marcao isn't only like our center back. He also acted like a CDM man. Like
Mm-hmm.
He put our players forward a lot too. Like his passes were immaculate. He allowed our
Like-
team to push forward a lot. So I don't know.
Let me put it this way: for his European performance, definitely like S tier. Like this guy carried us through every single game. It's just if I look at the Super League, well, I just still think that red card was very unnecessary, and that's the only reason I would hold him back. Not necessarily for his performance, by the way.
Mm.
So,
Well, Yasin,
But
what do you
S
think?
tier is still fine. Like I'm not objecting. S tier is still fine.
Mhm.
It's tough. I think all you have good arguments. This is encompassing the whole season, right? Samet is Super League, the Cup, and European League.
Yeah.
Markau, I think, was our best European player. I think he was super clutch, along with Kerem, and those two names stick out when you say, okay, who carried us this season? I can't say Kerem did and Markau didn't, and I can't say Markau did and Kerem didn't. So I'm gonna put them together, and I'm probably not gonna argue for anybody else next to them for the rest of the list. So I'll say S tier as well. I think he was super clutch, like Emre said, in our attack. There's a clear difference in how we attack as a team when Markau, who's our center back, is on and off the field.
Mhm.
And that goes to show how important he is, and not just defending, but also leading as a captain too on the field.
Yeah.
Oh, that's for sure. Like when Markau isn't playing, we have Alpaslan, for example. That's just I don't even want to think about it. Or
Yeah, when
Markau.
he's not
There's another
playing,
album, but
you can feel it. When he's not on the
Drop and
pitch,
volley
you can
is
really feel it.
insane.
Well,
Oh no.
I guess nobody objects Markau on S then.
Mhm.
And having the bridge to Alpaslan, I prepared him here. Where do you think he should go?
Oof.
Yasin.
I want to hear Yasin speak. Exactly. I want to hear him speak. Let him start.
this is tough because we have quite a few layers that are considered bad, which is C,
Yeah.
D, and E. Considering what we put Louis and Ismail better on D and E, I guess I would say like a C. I don't want to be too mean. I didn't have crazy high expectations. I don't think anybody did. When you brought Alparslan, you didn't know that you were gonna have a very good center back. You thought you were gonna have a good backup option, and I thought he was that. He did cost us some games. I think he was one of the reasons why we lost the Kupa. Like we got kicked out of the Turkish Cup as well. He caused a lot of penalties, stupid fouls. He didn't get back when he played center defensive midfield. So he was definitely not B level. I would say C. But you guys can probably argue against me saying D as well if you want.
Yeah, I mean, C is middle of the road. I mean, that's pretty much where I would put him. Like, he wasn't amazing. I don't think he was that bad. Like, he's not on the level of Luyendama where, like, I couldn't even watch anymore. I looked away every time he got the ball. So, I don't know. I think that's fair, middle of the road. I think.
Alpaslan is like I would give him 2 ratings if that makes sense. Like Alpaslan, the signing, I think is B. I mean, he came on the free. His Turkish Super League experience, 28. Nothing wrong with that in my books. But his performances were okay. How should I put it? I would say D. So in the middle, it would then be like a C for me at least. Like I don't feel safe with Alpaslan in the back, but
Yeah,
surely
exactly.
Yeah, that's
surely
true,
isn't
too.
Luyendama. Like he's still better than him, but
That's
he also
true.
isn't a Nelson or a Markau.
See, for me, a C would be average, right? A C would be a person you could put on the field and still like be comfortable with him playing. With me, Alparslan is not that guy. He's like John said, he's kind of like the Luyendama character where I don't feel comfortable. He's prone to making mistakes at any moment. So that's why I'd also put him in D. I don't know if anyone would agree.
Yeah, those are fair points because
Yeah.
now the thing that you said that made me kind of lean a little bit more towards D is that when he's on the pitch, I do feel a little bit concerned. Like I'm not necessarily looking away when he gets the ball, but I am cautious, like he's gonna mess up or something like that. So that's I think D is fair, yeah.
The problem with him, he seems so rash, right? He's not very calm.
Yeah.
Sometimes just a bit too.
Yeah, he seems a bit
aggressive.
nervy, a little.
I
Yeah, exactly.
I want
That's true
to
too.
counter argue that. I would put him at a C. And with Alpaslan, he played, 16 games? Not a lot of game time he had. What I like the most about him is his passion and that that Chiellini vibe that he gives. He's very aggressive as a defender, which is also his con, right? But if he manages to fix that, he'll be a great player for us. I think he'll reach that B level again when we got him from Göztepe. And aside from that, he does have one goal against Denizli, a match we all want to forget in the penalty shootouts
Which doesn't
Man.
matter.
as
I
well.
do want to say.
I actually have no comment about that, by the way.
No, I do want to say, Samet. So what is up with comparing our players to some world stars in football? Now you compared Alpaslan a bit to Chiellini, before Kerem to Luis Diaz.
Nah, it's
You know?
because
Who are we going to see next? Khalid, Messi. You know.
It's the C for Chiellini.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
you guys are going crazy with this
Yeah,
right
John,
now.
they're not gonna
Holy
stop, bro.
shit.
They're not gonna stop.
Oh my god, bro.
We got a long podcast ahead of us.
Holy shit.
Let's keep him at C, please. Any
Okay.
objections?
Well,
Okay.
No, I'm good with it, man.
It's
by the
okay.
way, I guess a question / comment. We can change this later,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah,
Like,
of course.
course.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Surprise us. Who's next?
I'll just randomly pick one. Who's this?
Barış.
Barış Alper Yılmaz. Interesting.
This is an interesting
Oh,
one.
no.
Okay, first question. How much did we pay for him? Was it 1.5 million or 2 million or so?
I think it was in that ballpark figure.
1.5.
Okay. Okay.
This one's so hard. You know what? This one is difficult for a few reasons, because one, we saw a decent amount of him, mostly coming off the bench in, I don't know, on average, maybe the 75th minute. And he seems to be an okay player. Like, I don't have that many issues with him. I think he could actually become a pretty good player.
Can I ask
But-
John,
Yeah.
where would you put Kerem for last season?
Like on the tier list, you mean?
Mm-hmm. But not
Well,
this season, last season.
Yeah, Kerem was like almost the same thing. Like, we knew he was, but the difference between, I'm just gonna say this, and then I'll answer your question. The difference I'm finding between Kerem of last season and Barış was Kerem was coming in again, same sort of minutes Barış gets, but he was making an impact. Like, he was scoring and assisting.
Yeah.
And then he
Mhm.
wouldn't start the next game, and everyone was like, "Holy shit! Like, Kerem has to play." But I didn't really see Barış doing that. Like, I don't think he scored. I don't remember him scoring or assisting. But he came in and added like a bit of pace.
Mhm.
He's you know, so it's hard. I don't know where to put him because of that. That's
He
so
had-
hard. Kerem of last season. Just to answer your question,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess for the opportunities he got, I don't know, maybe like B, maybe, even though he played really good. Like, he didn't play enough for me to give him A or S, obviously.
No.
So for Barış, I don't know. It's so
He had
I'm not
23
sure.
games this season, hasn't scored or assisted at all.
That's why
Barış,
I
you
would
mean,
put him
right?
in C. And
Yeah,
for me,
yeah.
C would be average, but you put Mr. Chiellini in C, so I don't know.
Well, I don't see a big difference between Chiellini and
Oh, come on.
who can Barış be? Let's give him a name.
So it's like somebody else take
Cristiano
over real
Ronaldo.
quick while I think of this.
Okay, let me say, I think what Samet asked was actually the right question to ask. Like, what would you put Kerem last season? And it is true. Barış and Kerem, to me, feel like the same player, last year at least.
But
It's just,
to add,
Yeah.
John said something important. Kerem did actually score an assist, even though he came on less. Which
Yeah, that's what I was gonna
I
say.
would put him at a B. And in this case, since he didn't score anything or assisted,
Mhm.
a C is fair. I guess that's the
Mhm.
point you want to make.
I
That-
don't know. I
that's
don't feel comfortable with this, boys. I don't like it because
Mm.
when you put him at C, you put him in the same tier as Mr. Chiellini over here, Alpaslan.
That's what
And I
I'm
don't
saying.
like that. He's 22, and yes, he didn't score any goals, he didn't assist, and that's not a good thing for a winger. I agree, but he's had lots of moments of exciting, flashes down the wing. He's a strong, tall winger, and he has speed. He might not be the most accelerated player like Kerem could be, but I see a lot of potential, which goes back to what John was talking about. We've seen these moments, which makes me excited, and just the way that last season, a lot of people didn't really love Kerem too much, and some people saw flashes and said, okay, something could happen. I'm not saying they're the same type of winger, but I see the same potential that Barış showed this season as Kerem did last season. Maybe Kerem was a bit better, but still, there is potential. It just needs to be utilized and he's Turkish and he's young. Like, I don't know. Maybe not the
I do
best
have a
argument, but
suggestion.
yeah.
I do have a suggestion, Yasin. With amazing points. So with all of that said, I think that Alpaslan
Goes to
should
D.
become David Luiz and drop down to
D
D
tier.
and put Barış in C. I think that's so Alpaslan in D and Barış in C. Would that make it better? I think so, right?
Or we could rename the C tier to could be better because he was saying the same thing about Alpaslan, right?
Oh my god.
Right?
So nonchalant too.
Fuck's sake, man.
I mean,
Okay.
that's basically what you guys are saying. So
Are we going for David Luiz?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
so. I think.
That's a solid argument, and I'm
this
not
looks
against
better.
it.
Yeah.
I'm fine
Yeah,
for
but-
that. Okay, Barış
Alright.
on could be better and David Luiz. Neydi lan ismi? Alpazlan Öztürk on David Luiz.
Forgot his favorite player.
David Öztürk.
Okay, you want me to pick a random one, or you wanna let's?
Yeah,
Just
just pick
random.
Yeah,
Okay,
random.
can I take just easy, quick one? F.
Yeah.
Ali Yavuz Kol.
Yeah.
Oof.
No.
I mean, we didn't see him, so
We didn't. Yeah, we saw nothing.
I
Yeah,
mean, he's
yeah.
just constantly regressing, so I wouldn't put him higher than E. So I mean, I have no objections. Objections to F.
just for good looks, I would put him on E. He's a handsome boy.
Look, you're saying we didn't see him much, but I've seen him a lot on Instagram with his puffy jacket, trying to be cool American. So,
Oh my god.
I mean, that's enough reason for me to put him on F. Aside from that, he's played 26 games as a striker and scored 3 goals. At keçi gören gücü.
It's
So-
first league though. It's not like it's a sec.
Yeah, even
he's 21.
that's why.
I thought he
yeah,
was
first
older.
league.
Anyone.
This is performance based, right? So yeah,
Yeah.
F makes
Yeah.
sense.
Exactly.
Are we
mean,
going strictly off performance and not by age?
I both, I
performance.
guess.
How did they do
Oh,
this
I-
season?
It sounded like we have a lot of
F.
different arguments so far though. F,
Mm-hmm.
F. If it's purely performance, it's a F.
but it's
Yeah.
not though because we're talking about other things too so far, aren't we?
Well, puffy jacket is important.
It is. Instagram. How's his game? How many followers does he have?
Yeah. And I'm gonna come to that.
F to me means done. Like forget about it.
No,
He has no future.
No. Not. We're talking about this season, how our players performed. So
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not sure. That's kind of
we
the-
can
you know
come
what the
back to
thing is
that.
that-
We can come back.
yeah. Like the
Yeah,
thing
it's
is
gonna
It's
be
with
hard
that is
because I haven't seen him play, right? I can only go off
yeah,
stats.
like if I looked up a tier list and I saw him in F, I'd just be like, okay, like it's
Yeah.
it is what it is,
I mean, even
Come
the
on.
games that you saw him for Galatasaray, he wasn't spectacular. We were hyped up because he had good looks and Instagram puffy jacket, but that on the pitch, nothing much.
We were
Yeah,
hyped because of
Mace,
some
someone.
Danish guy, I believe. I forgot his name, but
Yeah. He was saying he could play in Turkish series and shit. But anyway, well, we can always come
Okay.
back to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah,
okay.
sure.
All right. I'm just picking a random one. Feguli.
Feguli.
Feguli.
I have an idea.
Go ahead, John.
I have a feeling some of you might disagree, but I think I might put him in. No. Now I'm second guessing myself. I was gonna say B, and the reason why I was gonna say B is because there was a period that in the period was when we beat Marseille the 4-2 game at home. That
Yeah.
period, he was playing a few games and was actually playing well. And he was also playing. I'm not sure if he started did he start all the first half Europa League games? I can't remember. I'm not
He
sure.
played for a good amount. That's
Yeah,
all I
like-
know.
Yeah, he played for a good amount and he put in good performances there. Even though he wasn't, I don't think he was that much of a factor in the league. I think in Europe he played pretty well. So I would put him, and I can't put him on the same tier as Barish because he did more. He contributed so much more. So I think
That's-
B would
yeah.
be fair.
Yeah, B's really fair. I don't think anyone really objects to that because he's not amazing, but he's not mediocre either.
Yeah.
So
Like he's like the
Feghouli-
old reliable. Luck is there. Yeah.
Mhm. So Feghouli played 29 games, scored 4, assisted 4, and about Europe, he played 3 Europa League games and 3 qualifiers, and in both he scored 1, so 2 in Europe. And what I wanted to say, I think B is fair, and to me, Feghouli cannot be less than B. For me, he has a certain quality that's always there no matter what, and he'll always be B. And
Oh my God.
He will always be.
exactly.
B for always will be.
I know.
Like these are actually becoming more unbelievable as we go on. Oh my
I
god.
thought you guys were gonna say B for bald or something, but okay.
Oh my god, bro.
Oh no.
Yeah, that fixes
Yasin's
its place.
shaking in his booth right now. Yeah.
Okay, we have a ton more players to go. So
I was,
any
I
objections?
don't know if I would put him B, by
Feghouli
the way.
though, to be honest, Feghouli had some insane passes this season. Like some of them putting Kerem into like, a good run towards the goalie, 1-on-1, immaculate passes.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he definitely, like you said,
But
his class
thing
is
is,
there.
Fuguli
Yeah.
also had a lot of matches where he was very lethargic, very lazy, not running around, adding nothing. It was basically like playing with 10 players. So the problem with this tier list that I see now is, yeah, he did more than Barish, but
Yeah,
how much more is the question?
more clearly.
I mean,
More.
okay, obviously more. He has,
Mm-hmm.
4 goals, 4 assists, as you mentioned, but still, B tier for me just feels too high for him. I
Really?
don't feel as happy when he's playing. I actually really don't.
but that's subjective to you, right?
Of course, that's my rating. That's my rating. I would
Right.
more
I mean,
I would
no,
more so
see-
put it this way, like a light B to a steady C. In between. I wouldn't necessarily say B.
So
but
you were
like,
saying he was like average, right? Like he wasn't great or bad, right? That's
I would
what
give him like a. I would
that's
give
what
him
I'm
like 6
saying.
and a half, 6 and a
Yeah,
half.
that's like average. That's why I wanted to make the C tier average tier, and I would put players like Feghouli there or B for me. Honestly,
the
for me,
f-
it's B.
The thing with Feghouli, I have to get this across, and I think it's going to be the issue with a couple other players when we come across them. Their performances were different under Terim and then under Torrent. Feghouli is one of those players, and so is Bubble, and we'll get to that too. They were mediocre under Terim. Under Terim, he was thrown on the field, similar to Bubble, just do your thing. You're a magician, which he is at times. And it works. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Under Torrent, I thought borderline A at times. He was that important in our attack, in distributing the ball and making those passes that you were talking about, the immaculate passes.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, we lost Feghouli for a few games under Torrent when finally things are starting to look good. And if Feghouli was there, I would have said we would have won those games and he would have been an A-type player. That's why I can't say because of consistency he's A, but because of those poor performances, I also can't say he's a C. So I think B is totally fine.
Now,
Yeah.
I don't want to dwell too much on it, but the torrent argument, okay, fair. But how many games did he play on the torrent? Like,
Yeah.
I could probably count them on one hand, right? I think it's like 4 or 5 at most.
Well,
Maybe.
So
This is gonna be a very long tier list.
yeah, I know. So
Let's go.
Fuck
Let's
it,
keep
let's
him,
keep
we'll
it
see.
this way.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Happy face.
Nelson.
Hey, I'm up there.
Easy,
Victor
so
Nelson.
easy. Right up to A. Not even
Yeah.
a question.
Yeah.
Not even a
Yeah.
question.
Yeah, I agree. Let's-
Absolutely rock solid. Actually, probably He's tied in my favorite player in the squad right now. I'm not saying he's going to S tier or anything,
Yeah.
but in terms of my personal favorite, I'd
Yeah.
probably choose him.
I think
100%.
yeah. Let's just keep it at A and move on.
Hey,
Yeah.
Adam. Next.
Exactly, bro.
Okay. I touch Kara.
Right next to his
Oh
buddy.
Lord.
I'll put on at D.
What?
You're
Oh, E maybe?
no, I was gonna say
E.
I was gonna
maybe?
yeah, I was gonna say E. He is, in
Yeah.
my opinion, proper
Yeah.
dog shit, bro. Proper dog shit. He's
Finished,
so
bro.
bad, bro.
We all remember that GIF we created, right? Of that pass.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
Which
bro.
game was it?
Striker.
It was the St. Johnstone game.
Yeah.
When he
Yeah,
had like
I-
3 different options and he chose the worst one. That one, right?
I did an underpass. Kinda.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
actually one of his last games he was pretty fine, but that doesn't fix the rest of the season where he did play some games terribly.
Yeah,
so.
you guys are right.
Awful. Just I mean,
Mhm.
free, but still awful, right? So
Yeah. Okay. All right. Should I do a random pick?
yeah,
Right.
random.
Oh. Okay.
B.
What?
B because he had a pretty good loan spell, I thought. What,
Okay,
we gonna
we're
say A?
talking about Emin Bayram and Yasin. You say B.
So I am actually kind of invested in this player. Not so much so I watch all of his games, but I read a lot about him and what Boluspor fans think and other Gala fans who follow him at his Boluspor. So I think this is his second season on loan at Boluspor. So that says a lot to be recalled for a second loan, just the way that Yunus was at Adana. But I hear like he scores goals. He's like Ozan Kabak was. He scores goals. He's an aggressive defender, and he's how old? 19 still.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
20 at the oldest. Yeah.
I
He's-
thought he had a pretty good season, and he plays consistently too. I don't know if he
He's-
plays every single game, but he has a
He-
lot of games played. Yeah.
Yeah. He's currently 19 years old, has played a total of 30 games for Boluspor, and has scored 2 goals. He's their first choice, if I believe so.
That's good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I
I'm not
actually
sure.
agree. And do you all remember I think it was under 20 Turkish national team, he had a sick dribble and a pass?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He has quality, definitely. I can see him like be played in the first XI.
I mean, he's our
He could
former
be a
captain. I mean, what do you
bench.
mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just the thing. What I'm thinking about now is I have some other players in mind that I'm gonna put in B tier, and I'm worried that he's not gonna fit in there. Like,
Who?
Emin, I
Em-
We'll
believe.
get to it
Em-
later.
yeah, I will get to it later, I guess. I'm not sure about this.
No,
I
we
don't
can
know.
make- build the bridge.
John brings up a good point though, because like it's hard to compare loanees,
Yeah.
no matter how good they played, to players that actually played for Galatasaray and the performance they put out.
So, can we say that C tier is for people that we put in there that has potential to do good with us? Can we say that?
Could be better.
Could be better. There you go.
Yeah,
It could be better.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I'm fine with that.
yeah. We'll see what happens though.
We'll see
you
what
know.
happens. Yeah, we might come back to that. I do see him like I kind of agree with B. But yeah. All right.
Okay.
Eric Pulgar.
Oh,
Hmm.
this is interesting.
Ah,
For me, it's C
D.
Yeah, it might be C. He
because
might be
Yeah.
a C tier
I
player.
wasn't his biggest fan when he first came, but towards the end of the season, he started doing a lot better, and then showed me why Tylon is not a real CDM and why Pulgar is a real CDM. And so, like, as for C tier, could be better. He could have been better, and he was better towards the end of the season. And I don't think that was a ceiling either. I don't know if anyone else
Yeah.
would agree with me on that.
I
but-
don't think that he was okay. Well, first of all, let's just remember that when he first came, he didn't even see the day of light. Or
He
the
was on
light of
vacation,
day,
bro.
Sorry.
Yeah.
But anyways, I don't think he did enough to get in that B tier, and I don't think
Right.
he did.
No
he wasn't
way.
that bad to go lower, so I guess we could leave him there.
Well, what if
I
I
think-
put Thailand next to him? Or I would put Thailand at E and Pulgar at D.
Whoa.
Oh, you put Thailand in E
No,
tier.
no. Samet, get out of here, bro. I don't,
Oh my god, that's a
Holy
surprise.
shit.
I don't accept that. That's disrespect.
Yeah, you literally just fucked Thailand there. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Look,
He
I'm
likes it too, probably thanks to that shirt.
ever since he put on that LGBT shirt, he's been playing bad. Just saying.
I mean,
No.
yeah, I can't disagree with that. But E tier is beside eye touch, man. Like, oh my god, that's
No,
crazy.
stop,
You did him
stop,
dirty.
stop,
Okay,
stop,
okay,
stop.
okay. You can't put him next
Listen,
to Art.
okay,
Touch.
That's what I'm saying. D.
No,
Okay,
then
okay,
Pulgar
Yasin,
C.
Yasin, where would you put Thailand in your
I would
opinion?
put him at C. I think that's a fair assessment. Look, Thailand has made mistakes, and that costs us goals, that costs us games, and that's why he's not B or A. Okay, but Thailand distributes the ball better than most of our midfielders. Like that's important in a team. Thailand consistently tries his best on the team. Whenever he's on there, he doesn't cause issues. There's no locker room problems. He's not going around slapping people. He's not going around making stupid ass yellow cards, red cards. He does a job. And there's a reason. I mean, Summit, you're the one who always uses this phrase, oh, like, you know, there's a reason why this youth player doesn't play from coach to coach. They must know something. You can use this argument for Thailand too. Under Terim, he played a lot and he grew a lot. A lot of the assistants under Terim talked well about him after they left the job. Necati Ateş, Ümit Davala, they talked well about Thailand. And now you see, what's his name? Torrent speaking really well about him. So much that he plays him over Eric Pulgar, who was a Fiorentina player they brought him in January. So I don't know. I think there's a reason they play him, and D is just disrespectful. I can't accept that.
I know I may have overreacted, but especially on the distribution part, I fully agree. I don't think there's. I think he's even better distributing the ball than Eric. So I'll put both at C for now.
Well, Thailand's originally a 8, right? A number 8. That's why he's pretty decent at distributing the balls. He's a makeshift CDM under Terim
Yep.
because we didn't, transfer anybody.
The Galatasaray Classic.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
No
do we-
CDM challenge.
Do we really? I don't know, man. I wouldn't put Thailand at C. I feel like I would put him at D, not E. I think E is way too harsh, but
Yeah, D. For me,
He had
D
some
as well.
massive blunders this season, bro.
it's like
Yeah.
Alpha. I'm just worried when he's on the ball.
He
might
had.
I thought C could be better. I think that applies for Thailand. No.
I could
know,
apply to
I
any
don't-
player.
Not
Yeah,
better
I
in
mean, yeah.
CDM. I don't think he'll be better in that position. Maybe in
No, but
another
th-
position.
th-
It's
this
the
is
distribution.
specific position, though.
But just imagine though. Okay, he had the really. Like I was so mad at the Trabzon game where he sold the game at the end. Even the podcast we did after, I was ripping him really bad. But like, imagine if, and I think he did that 2 other times where he gave the ball away
Yeah.
right there outside the box. But imagine if, like, those are things he could have fixed easily. Like really poor mistakes. If he didn't make those couple mistakes, would you guys still be saying D tier or would he be C?
I would say C.
C easy.
I would
But
say
now
C
that you
too.
mention all those blunders, you put him in E, in El Bomba tier next to Luyendama. Like,
No.
No.
that
But the
That
thing
is
is as
still too
well.
harsh.
Look.
Yeah, go
Uh-uh.
ahead, Maz. Go ahead.
Hear me out. You're saying if Thailand didn't have those blunders, would we still put him in D? The thing with CDM is they shouldn't make simple mistakes like that. So the CDM is supposed to be like the backbone, like no bullshit. Don't make mistakes like that. And Thailand's making mistakes like that, which is like rule 1 of midfield: don't lose the ball in your own half. So that's why I'm putting him so low in D. But
Oh, that's so hard.
I don't
Would you
blame him
agree with
either.
that? I think you would agree with that as well. I don't think Thailand would tell himself that he had a good season or like an average one. He would also probably say he had a bad season. No,
It's a good way to look
Yeah.
at it.
But how could, like, I'm just thinking, okay, I know we're making memes and stuff and saying C is for whatever, but surely he's had a better season than Barish. Like, surely. He played good.
Exactly.
He played well in a lot of games too. Like in the two legs against Barcelona as well, I thought him and Berkan both played well. So it's like, I'm not saying they played amazing either. I think they played well, but surely he's contributed more this season than both players in C tier.
Well, he has no goals or assists currently,
And-
if I'm
exactly.
mistaken.
Barish.
Yeah,
Or
but
Thailand, you mean?
Thailand.
I'm sorry,
Thailand.
Thailand.
Both.
Yeah, but surely even without goals or assists, there was still so many games where he was still distributing the ball well and keeping possession well, and like playing in pockets, like receiving the ball from our goalkeeper or center backs.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
know
like
what?
surely he can't be lower than those two and see.
I mean,
what,
if he
John?
didn't make all those mistakes, I would agree with you. But like, he did cost us a lot of points. But you make a good point. I can't argue with C or D at the moment.
John, you know what? You convinced me. I think Thailand deserves D, but Butters too, because well, he hasn't performed either as well.
So my little speech just fucked Bodish somehow.
Yeah.
Gotta compromise.
Okay,
No,
well, I
but-
mean, we
yeah,
can leave
you
it
know
like
what?
this if you guys want, and
We can
you know,
change it later.
I'm sure some pieces are
I
gonna get
can't-
moved around.
I can't accept Pulgar to be above Thailand, though.
No, but Pulgar, okay, he went on vacation. We paid his salary for no reason while he was gone. Then he had a slow start, just like Getson in a way. But towards the end, I found him pretty solid.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie.
he
I think
improved.
he was reliable. He did
Very
his thing.
static, though. Super static.
Oh, he's not static. I thought he was pretty good in our development in the midfield. He was a quick. He knows the game better than most of our midfielders. I actually like that about him.
Mhm, yeah.
Mhm.
He was quick to if we should pass the ball, let me pass. He's not the type of midfielder that's dumb and just tries to dribble and
Mhm.
waste the opportunity. Right? He knows how to read the game, so he has a quality. D would be disrespectful to him, and I don't know why we still have Thailand
If
at
we-
D.
No, keep it. Ah, man.
Okay, so I'm
Let's
fine
move on.
with Pulgar. I just put Thailand next to him just for his sake. I mean, we don't know if Pulgar played another half of a season. Maybe he would perform less better or even better. But now Barish is fucked because of Can.
All your fault, bro.
Deserves it.
Well-
No goals, no
well-
assists.
Well, let's see what happens. We'll keep
Yeah,
going and see
come
who
on.
we move around.
Yeah, let's move on.
All right. I think it's time for an ad break. No, I'm just kidding. We don't have any ads.
Yet.
Can I just
Yes.
can I please, if you want to take just like a 2-second intermission, can I just say something that's been on my mind this whole time?
ahead.
But I haven't said it. When you were talking about Ali Yavuzkol, you mentioned he was like I can't believe I'm gonna say this. You guys, Samet is gonna die of laughter. But you said that he was a cool American, right?
Did
Does,
I?
does that sound familiar to you or Salih?
Yeah, he said that Aliaus Cole acts like a cool American kid. Oh, look
Yeah,
at me,
but-
fluffy jacket. Oh, look
But
at my
cool.
boat
That
or
phrase
whatever.
though, that little phrase, "cool American," that doesn't ring any bell. That me
Oh,
and
of course, the
Yasin are
sauce.
always
Yeah, ranch sauce. Yeah, I know.
yeah. Or is that not so weird in Europe? Like the Doritos chips that we have, the Cool Ranch, they call it Cool American. Isn't that weird?
What?
It's weird.
What?
Yeah,
Wait,
Maz,
what?
Maz, you did. Wait, Maz. In Australia, do you have Cool Ranch chips?
The blue one.
Yeah, we don't have cool American.
Yeah,
How is it cool American?
they call it Cool American, bro.
We call it cool American.
Yeah.
Can you believe that?
What? I mean, what's wrong with that?
You're saying the blue one, the dark blue one, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's light blue,
Cool
no?
American?
How are Americans
What?
ranch? Like, what do you guys do to make that
Bro, you guys live on
distinction?
the ranch, bro. You're
know what?
riding horses
Does
all day.
everyone think all of America we just live on one big ranch like the Wild West? Like, what is going on?
know.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
What
All
kind of
right.
movies
One
do you
big
guys watch?
outback.
This is done. Doritos has to sponsor us now. Doritos has to sponsor us. I'm gonna contact them.
Yeah.
Hey, how's my
Doritos
voice,
local
by the way? Is it
American.
good? Now that we do intermission, is it good? Right. Or do I cut off sometimes? My
You're
voice
good,
line?
you're
Okay,
It's fine.
okay, good.
It's fine. Okay.
Yeah.
Tamami.
All right. I just pick one, and that's Buffetimbi Gomis. John.
Oh.
This one's gonna be a tough one. But
Penalty
yeah,
murder.
John.
Nah.
Well, someone recalling me, Samet?
Yeah, go ahead. What do you think of Buffetimbi Gomis?
Oh, this is hard for me because, okay, the thing is that of course he came back. There was some excitement. We were like, we're gonna see the old Buffet again. He's gonna be scoring, but then he came back and he looked like he belonged in a wheelchair, man. Like his legs were like just, oh my god, he was so slow. ineffective. I don't know if that speaks to just how we were playing. Maybe he just wasn't effective there, but I don't think he was that good. I think he could have been better, man. I don't
tier?
want to. I think so. I mean, okay, how many goals did he finish with? Did he hit the 10 mark?
No,
He had
9,
9.
He had 9. He had 9 goals.
of which 5 were pens, by the way.
Did he score? Yeah, 5 were I think for me personally, I think I'd put him in C.
That's
I
tough.
don't know. What do you guys think? It is hard. That's a tough
I mean,
one, man.
I agree. Pens. I usually don't like to look at pens too much, but some of those were tough situations where we needed someone to step up. And I believe it was his first or second game he came, and he won the game because of a penalty that he stepped up without any, loss of focus. I respected that a lot, and I remember reading a lot of people said the same thing. At the end of the season, he got those goals. He was still kind of finding his momentum into the right position. Is it the Gomes that we saw from last time, the S tier, A tier Gomes? Absolutely not. But it's also an improvement over the strikers that we had this season. And I don't know, C, B, it's tough. I'm curious what y'all think too. I would probably say B, but I would not be against C if that's what the majority wants.
I would go for B, Yasin, and my reasoning is a bit. Just looking at his performance, he came half a season, scored 9 goals. If you look at the top goal scorers in the Turkish Super League for the full season, that's Umut Bozok with 20 goals. And then on second place, Mario Balotelli with 18 goals. So imagine if we had him for a full season. Now, 9 plus 9 is 18. So he'd be like sharing the spot with Mario Balotelli. Would you put Balotelli on C?
No,
You
I
can't
wouldn't.
go only off goals though. You have to look at the way he's playing as well. A lot of the time, Gomez would run for like 15 minutes, then take like a water break for like the rest of the game.
Okay, let me ask this
Yeah,
then. You
yeah.
know, the first half of the season, the amount of damn positions we got into. If we had Gomes, do you think he would score 9 plus goals with all those positions?
If he ran into those positions, yeah, but I can't trust Gomez to make runs like that the whole game.
So here's another thing, just a quick comment. It's not just about running too, though. Do you guys remember that position that he had against Barcelona? I think Bergkamp kicked it up.
Yeah.
He had a nice move to create that shooting lane for himself, and unfortunately, he kind of didn't shoot in the right direction. But not a lot of strikers can create that out of that position. Maybe like a super fast striker would beat them out of speed and be one-on-one, okay. But he does well. He's kind of like figured out, okay, I'm getting old. I'm a little bit slower. He still has that smart talent like Drogba used to do. Like he knows how to position himself on the ball. And he
Exactly.
got goals because of that this season.
Mhm.
I agree. A lot of penalties, but still, I think he still has it. It could be better. That's why I'm saying BC. It's tough, but
It's nothing above B in my opinion. B on
No
like
way.
a good day.
I'm fine with
no
B.
way. You
B
got
on a
Nelson right up
good
there.
day.
Mhm.
I mean, he did provide us with goals at the end of the day, so
I mean,
penalties
again,
are
I
not.
know.
again, if I just clicked on a random tier list and he was in B, I wouldn't get stuck on that. I would just see, he's in B, okay, whatever. It's like that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
B or C. If you guys feel like it should be B, then I'm fine with that too.
I'm fine with B.
All right.
Again here,
Good.
Gomez the signing, probably like a C. You're not that happy with, C or D, but in the end, he did become our second top scorer in the Super League in
Yeah.
a pretty short amount of time. So he did what he had to do in a way. So B is fine.
All right.
Okay.
We're getting.
Before we move on, Samet, just a quick comment as we organize this and each column starts to get more people. Maybe we should put like the better of the Bs ahead, like all the way to the left. I think that's what they do with these tier
Mhm.
lists.
Like B
So, like
plus.
for example, yeah. Like for example, if we thought Faguli was better, then we put Faguli on the left of Gomes and so on. So
Yeah,
that's something we should keep in mind going forward.
let's do that.
Okay.
All right, here we go. And I'm going to speak about him. Halil.
This
What's
should-
his name?
Whoa.
Dervishoğlu.
Whoa. Okay.
F.
Okay.
And no discussion.
right.
We move on.
Jesus.
No. And do you want my reasoning?
Oh
I don't
my
even.
God.
I don't think you need my reasoning. F, and we're just done.
Bro, that's so
Okay.
funny.
This
All
man
right.
has a personal vendetta against that kid.
Muslera.
Well, I was about to say, whoa.
Okay. Now, look, Okay, not F, but honestly,
D for me.
if you put on Instagram self promo videos where you don't even score, just
Yeah,
some
Summit, you go on social media too
Bro,
much, bro. Every
he's a football
time. It's
player.
like
He's
Yeah.
not an
social
influencer.
media,
He's
social
gotta-
media.
I,
Really?
He got to
His
market
Instagram
himself,
tier
in
list.
some way.
it's unfortunate we don't have the letter G under F. I would say Giroud, but
Oh my god.
Jesus.
he just
I'm
does.
gonna
plays
bomb it,
like
bro.
He's just playing football as if he's on the street and tries to
Samet.
dribble and make actions for nothing, no
No.
goals,
But
nothing.
Summit
Yasin-
leading
at
the
least
GG
see.
tour, the
At
GG
least see.
tier.
What, John?
I want to hear Yasin on Halil.
Go, yeah.
Come
Because
on.
he also had two different
Emre said could be better, and that's what I see him for Halil. Because at the end of the season, we finally got to see a little bit of what we saw earlier in the season with Terim, as Halil playing alongside a second striker or as a role of a second striker behind Mohamed, behind Gomez, and that's where he excels. This I don't want to say poor kid because then someone's going to slap me, but this poor kid is being benched often, is playing lone striker, playing winger. The kid doesn't even know where he belongs on this team, but he has that skill set, and you can't argue otherwise. When he gets the ball, he knows how to beat the guy one on one. He has a physical strength, maybe not the speed, but he can make a quick dribble or two, get past that defender, and then make the final pass to Kerem or Mohamed or shoot the ball. His shots could be better. Sometimes they go straight to the goalie. He's even scored like that right under the goalie's legs before, but he has that potential. And listen, I think next season he's going to stay in the league, whether that's with us or not, and he's going to do better than whatever we saw this season. I think he has a potential.
I think he's
And
never going to
these-
be successful.
So if I can jump in on this, so I think this is another player that could bounce between two tiers, C and D. I personally, I have two reasons that I would put him D tier, in my opinion.
Let's go.
So the first thing is that, and I mentioned this on I think two other episodes before, is how wasteful he was this season in front of the net. There's so many chances where he would either just make the wrong decision, or he would shoot it right at the keeper, or just gift the keeper with something. In positions where we could have scored or he could have created something, I thought he was way more wasteful than he was, able to create. Even though I thought that he looked decent in the last part of the season where he had, a little bit of consistency in that position behind the striker, I thought it was okay, but still very wasteful. And the second, for me, this is just me speaking like, as a coach and things I look for. I would never put him on the field if I looked at the bench and it looked like he wanted to go home and play Fortnite, because that's always what he looks like. He always looks like he's uninterested. Like, I don't know what it is. He just looks,
Violation.
yeah, like I just, and it pisses me off. Like, he doesn't have good body language ever. When he's on the pitch, when he's like, I never see him with good body language. I never see him
Everybody.
smiling, you know?
He
Yeah,
started
everyone.
he started the pro teams with Emre Mor, I heard.
Well, in that case, I would put him in D. I was gonna say dog shit tier. I don't think he's dog shit, but he's not that good. He wasn't that good this
Every
season.
interview we heard from the players, he's voted laziest, like
Yeah.
hands down, and he's like the only one in that category. No
Yeah,
one else.
yeah. I don't know. Even though I think he could probably be good. I think he could be a good player, but this season just wasn't it, man. And not all of it is his fault, like Yasin said, but I don't know. C or D? For me, I would say D.
Yeah.
He's just so damn wasteful. At least when there's a big chance, right? I think as a creator, I do like him. He's a creative player. It's just like Yasin said before, he's not a striker. Like, the kid
Mhm.
doesn't know how to shoot, doesn't know how
Mhm.
to finish.
I think to be fair as well, Salih, he played like 30 games, scored 4 goals, made 1 assist, and then he did all this in between all the different positions, all the different tactics, all the different play styles he had to play and endure. And I think that's unfair to him if he would be next to Barış Alper Yılmaz. So I would put him at C as well.
Either at the end of C or at the front of D. I'll leave that up to you guys.
Yeah.
Emre, what do you think? Did you decide on C or D?
I mean, I agree with you guys. He wasn't the best, so I would put him at C. But like John said, right, he was very wasteful, and people in the C tier are people that provided more than they wasted, right? So that's why I would put him in D. But I'm not opposed to putting him in C either. So either way,
Can
for
we
me, Max
agree
it's C.
on the end of C?
I think that
Yeah,
would
I
be
can
fine.
do. I can do that.
I think that'd be good.
All right.
Moving
Let's
on.
do Inaki Peña.
Oh boy, my favorite. Also my favorite.
I'd put him in A personally.
Then
For
I
his
want to
performance with us.
propose to also put Muslera right next to him because, in my
Yeah.
opinion, they are both had same
Yeah.
performance.
To
Yeah.
be honest, I thought you guys were gonna cancel me for it. I was gonna suggest putting him in A tier because I thought he was brilliant. Like he made one mistake in the Besiktas match where it was a soft shot that kind of went through his legs. He didn't quite collect it properly and it went in. It was Ridvan, I think, that scored.
Yeah.
But he was amazing. I can't even speak about his ball distribution. Literally fantastic. Better probably than our midfielders. Just absolutely incredible there. You can see the Barcelona quality.
Mm-hmm.
And he was a good shot stopper as well. Like he made really good saves too. You know, he was just, I don't know, he was a solid option. No mistakes other than the one.
Mm-hmm.
And he came in at a time where we really needed a keeper, and he got the job done. Like zero complaints.
Yeah, he
And he
just fit
seems
in like a piece of a puzzle.
Yeah,
Like
for
he's
sure.
good.
He seemed like a good person too. I don't know. I would put him A. I don't know if you guys agree with that.
No, yeah.
No problem.
Yasin,
I agree.
yeah.
I
No
agree.
objection.
I agree.
Yeah. And for me, same with Muslera. No further comment. He had some outstanding games.
Usually, Muslera would cement himself in the S tier, but the
Mhm.
season was kind of an
Yeah.
off season for him. But
Yeah.
even that, he still did well.
Yeah.
Or that first game, man. I was going to the garden, you know, PSV versus Galatasaray, and then what was it? The first 10 minutes or 5 minutes he makes in there, and I was like,
Yeah.
Jesus,
Yeah.
man,
Can you not
what a way
remind
to
us?
start. Okay, sorry. Let's move on.
All right. Here we go. The cheese.
Ömer. Oh.
Black
Oh.
Ömer. Ryan Bubble.
Right there. Right
Back
there.
him.
I want to hear Samet speak first. Talk
Look,
about his professionality.
in the podcast every week, I spoke a lot about his professionality. If you want, just listen back to the old episodes, and you'll know what I feel about him. I would put him at B.
Yeah. It's interesting actually because usually, so I've always pretty much like not liked him. I normally I'd probably put him in dog shit tier because he kind of got on my nerves, but I thought he was good this season. Like nowhere near, of course, our superstar winger Kerem, but
Mhm.
he was good. He played a lot of good games. I thought he was pretty useful. Of course, his leadership and professionalism. That's we're always bringing that up. Everyone knows with Ryan Babel, that's what you're gonna get. So
B for Babel.
Yep, bang on B for
Yeah.
Babel.
All right. Let's take his buddy then. Ömer Bayram.
Samet, on Babel, right?
Yeah?
Or to the others, because I don't actually follow our footballers on Instagram. I only do Galatasaray. So how's Ryan Babel's Instagram account? Is it good or?
It's
What do
a
you think?
mixture of cryptocurrency, stocks, property, real estate, and modeling rap. Occasionally some football here and there. It's pretty good.
So no cool American, no fluffiness, just financially literate, basically.
No self-promo vids of cool actions, cool Americans.
Babel gets a S for his vlogs. It's
Oh, yeah.
God tier.
But, yeah, Ömer Bayram, boys.
D.
D. I think E is too harsh, but D. He's
Yeah.
just not. He's not up to quality, but he at least doesn't complain, just works hard.
I don't see him ever being better than what he is currently, so I can't really
Yeah.
put him.
Right
C.
back, left back, dog shit. If he would play midfield this season, I'm sure he could reach B even. But anyway.
Last season, he was our highest assister in the midfield, no?
Yep.
Oh
I think
yeah.
the season
Yeah.
before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But this season, he was kind of
Hmm.
bad.
I mean, he only really came in when, one of our players wasn't fit anyway, so he's just a backup. As a backup, I think he's okay. I would rather have someone better, but I guess it's fine. He's Turkish. His wages are low. Wait, is it still low?
Yeah, it's like 500k euros.
Yeah, that's okay. I can live with that.
I'm pulling
Move on.
Omar El Abdullahi.
Probably B.
B, yeah.
I would put him B as well. Yeah.
Yeah, solid performance when he came back from his injury.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing to say, to be honest.
I just like the way he works. I don't know on the field. He works really hard, I feel like. Maybe it's just my eyes who deceive me, but
Look, we all know he had an accident with fireworks where he basically lost his right eye or left eye. And coming back from such an injury, a lot of doctors told him, you won't ever be able to play football again. But persisting, going through that, making all the different surgeries that he had to undergo, and then coming back the way he did, I would just have a lot of respect for that.
Yeah.
I would probably put him ahead of Gomis
Babel.
and Babel. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, agree. All right, that looks good. Chickledao.
There was
That's
two
tough.
Chickledaws
Interesting.
this season. There was the first
Exactly.
half season Chickledao, which would be like an A for me. But then there was the second half where he just completely became a ghost, which I would say like C. So I would maybe put him in B, but the end of B tier. I don't know if you guys would agree with that.
I like your reasoning.
me that feels too high.
Yeah,
gonna be honest.
that's difficult. Okay, like definitely at the beginning of C is I think for me better than the end of B. But it's what Emre said, man. Like he was on track to like he was playing well. He really was, and then he just ghosted, man.
I don't know, man. As a
That's
signing,
hard.
I feel like for the money that we've paid, which is I believe the 7 million or so for him.
I mean, if you're gonna go based on money as well, then we gotta rearrange a lot of this.
Okay, of course. Okay,
of
you know
this
what?
list.
Okay,
me skip
consider that he had 42 games and 4 goals, 3 assists. I'd say C in the beginning and C.
Yeah, I think that's the fairest.
He's probably best.
Yeah.
He started pretty okay, but then fell off. And
Does everyone agree with that? Beginning of C?
I'm fine with
Yeah, that's
I mean,
fine.
Yeah.
end of B may as well be beginning of C.
Yeah. So
That's
we'll
fine.
yeah, I think it looks good. That looks good.
Yeah.
who's
Sasha
next?
Boy.
Same story,
Sasha
really.
Boy.
Same exactly.
I think I would put Sasha in B, I
Me
think.
too. Me too.
Yeah, I think he had a better year than Chikaldao. And since he joined us, he's picked up a couple injuries. But I think that most games, like 90% of the games he's played, he's put in good performances. There was maybe like 2 matches where I was like, he looks kind of off today. But I think he started really well for us when he first joined. Everyone was excited. He scored in that Europa League. His first match, I think, that Europa League match, he scored.
Mhm. Yeah.
And I think he's solid. Considering the price we got him and his age too is like, pretty solid. I think it's B is, that's good.
He scored
I would-
against St. Johnstone.
Yeah.
And I would even put him like a little in front of Omar because he has that same quality, doku, you say in Turkish, that Feguli has. There's this quality you can see is there. And if he's
Yeah.
consistent, he can be a real gem.
His
Yeah,
attacking is really good. I love the way he attacks.
And defense
He's a
is
good
also
player.
good. Yeah.
Man, I feel like I disagree with you guys again. I don't know. I think B again is too high. I would put him like Chickle down in the beginning. I mean, considering the fact he barely played, he had he was out for 2/3 of the season. and his offensive ability, yes, is good. I think his defensive ability, while much better than Yedlin, is still. I find
Behind
Omar
Omar's.
better, yeah, on the defense than Sasha.
Yedlin
Sasha can,
sucked.
bro. Sasha against that one of the last games. What was it? Kasımpaşa? What was it? Trezeguet, I believe. Bro, he
Yeah.
spun him around multiple times. He just got past him really.
That's
I know
why
he's a
John
Premier
said
League player.
90% of the time. And considering he
Yeah.
had in 19 games, 1 goal, if you say
o da doğru.
90%, so
But
that's
now
why.
that I look at it again, I mean, I would put him ahead of Gomis and Babel. So yeah,
Exactly.
perhaps B is fine then.
Yeah, I think that's good. That's fair for him, I think.
All right. Let's have another smell then. This is going to be interesting. Yasin,
Patrick. Ooh.
you can talk about
Oh,
Yunus
shit.
Akgün.
Looking at that B list, you have to put Yunus at A. You have to. He had a really good season. I don't know about ahead of Nelson. though.
What?
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
I would not put him
whoa,
ahead.
I was slowed down a bit there. I would put him probably around.
Chill down, man.
I would put him last in
I
A
was,
tier.
yeah,
or-
I would still put him last only because he didn't do it for Galatasaray yet.
That's exactly my point. Yeah.
Yeah, he had a great season, scored plenty of goals, lots of assists, and if you watch the games, he plays like a very comfortable Super League player. You know, he doesn't have that hesitancy like he used to. He's comfortable, he's confident, he can take on dribbles, he can shoot. He has all the qualities to be better than Kerem, in my opinion. I think
Agree.
his ceiling is higher than Kerem, but I would just for the sake of the tier list, I would put him at the end of the A. Because he still has to do it for us.
That's the thing. Yeah, exactly that. That's the thing.
But we're not looking at for us for them. We're looking at our player, a Galatasaray contracted player, and his performance of the year. Well, he did
Yeah.
it at Adana. Okay, what did he do? 39 games, 9 goals, 17 assists.
That's wild.
So
Yeah.
that is he had a remarkable season, but there's like impossible. He can't be in front of Nelson. Like there's
Come on,
Eh,
you
for-
know what he
for
did
all-
for
I
us,
would
bro.
even
Yeah.
look.
Okay.
I was even gonna put him at S tier.
no,
if you ask
no,
me.
no.
Bro.
Okay.
No.
That's a bit
Abartma,
much.
bro.
That's
I
unacceptable.
know we look at the fact on how he played in general, but still, he didn't do it for us yet. We
That
can't.
doesn't matter. His performance was sick, insane. Kerem
It
level.
does.
It,
because we're a bigger
does
club than
matter
Adana.
though. It does matter, Samet. Why? Because how many players do we bring in from other teams that do well in Super League? They come to us and they don't do the same performance.
He was fine
Exactly.
with
Prime
Gala
example,
as well.
Emre Kılınç. Emre Kılınç. I'm not saying he can't. I have zero doubt Yunus Akgün can't do the same, if not better. But to put him ahead of Nelson, bro, ahead of Muslera, ahead of Iñaki. Maybe you can put him ahead of Iñaki if you want, but Nelson, bro, he was the rock of our defense. Longer
that's
than
Marcao
Marcao
for me.
was.
If you ask me, Nelson is good, but if
Longer.
if we would sell
he missed 8
Nelson,
games.
if we would sell Nelson, we would be fine. If we would sell Marcao, we would not be fine.
That's a
That's why he's
conversation
S.
for a different day, but
Yeah. But
maybe
okay,
not.
I'll put him behind.
What do
Nelson.
you guys think? What do
Yeah,
you
I
guys
agree.
think?
no,
I wouldn't put him in
yeah.
front of them. No.
Exactly what Samet has now. Samet, in case you can't see this and you're listening, Samet has an A tier. Nelson, he just switched it now where Nelson is the top of A tier, and right behind him is Yunus. And I'm fine with that because he had a remarkable season. But come on, man, Victor Nelson's
Yeah.
he's a stud.
Yeah. This makes me feel better.
Yeah.
I'm good.
I'm
Yeah,
happy
me
you're
too.
happy.
I can sleep well now.
Well, you mentioned Emre Kılınç, Yasin. Where would you put him?
Probably C. I mean,
yeah, I think so.
first half of the season, he was pretty non-existent, right, under Terim. And then Torrent came, started him right away pretty quickly. And we saw flashes of Emre Kılınç that we used to like. And then we remembered, okay, why we don't like Emre Kılınç. He could be inconsistent. If he's on his off day, he's really on his off day. And then he got a little bit lost towards the end of the season. Barış Alper even stole some minutes from him. I would say probably in the middle of C or at the end. Yeah, something like that.
Can we have a look at C? I agree with C on Emre Kılınç, but we have now Çikil Dao at top. Emin
That's why I
Bayram.
want to put Chickledao end of B. That's why I think he deserves to be end of B.
No, I'm fine with
I
that.
would be okay with that too. To see how things play out, but
Because I think he had more of an impact than Emre Kılınç. He played, 40+ games for us? And he didn't do terrible.
I think he did. I think he did too. I think yeah, you're right, Emre. I think. Yeah. He had a bigger impact than Emre, surely.
Stats wise,
Did he?
so we had 42 games for Çıkıldağ with 4 goals and 4 assists. Emre Kılınç had 37 games with 5 goals, 3 assists.
Well, Emre
Comparable.
Kılınç is a winger. He's a midfielder, right? And
True.
some of the goals and assists, he's like, sometimes it's like him passing to someone who passes it to the final, finisher.
Yep.
And he had a lot of those in the beginning of the season.
He did. A lot of
Well,
second assists.
Of those goals of Emre Kılınç, the only one I remember was the game that we bottled against Trabzon, the 2-2, because he scored twice, right, and got subbed off for it. That's what I remember.
He scored like back passes, right? They back passed twice or something like that, and then he cut in between and he scored. I know one of the goals was like that. I don't know if both were like that.
Okay. Well, I'm happy with this, how it is. We put Çıkıldağ back at B and Emre at top of C.
All right.
I'll just get right to it. Bartu Elmaz F chair on the bottom end. No discussions. Cunt.
Done.
All right,
Next.
can we not be disrespectful? Come on. He's a youth player. He needs to move on.
How can
don't-
I not be disrespectful? Has he been respectful to us?
You can fuck right off, in my opinion.
All right.
Yasin, I feel you. We're joking
All right,
around.
let's move
We
on.
know
Well, that-
professional contracts,
That is
managers.
that is F tier, right? Fuck right off. That's the fuck right off
Yes,
tier.
sir.
Yeah, that's where he goes.
Okay.
I like
Okay,
it.
okay.
I like it. This was gonna be about performance, but never mind. With him, never mind. All right, Berkan Kutlu.
This is a good one. Yasin, the floor is yours, buddy.
I would put him right behind Faguli at B,
Wow.
ahead of Sacha.
Yeah.
I know you guys are not going to agree with that, but
No, I agree with that.
I thought
that's
you could say he could be better in certain areas, which I agree, but that applies to everybody on this list. I thought he was relatively consistent. I thought he was very important in our midfield, even though you don't see it in goals and assists. You feel it when he's not there. When you have Taylan on the field with Çıkıldağ, you feel his missing presence. And I don't know. I think he was not treated fairly by the fans a lot of the season. I think he had a lot of good passes. When he does pass the ball, it's hard and to the point. He likes to think. In the beginning of the season, I would say his first 10 games, he was very forward thinking. And that's what he was like at Alanya. And that kind of changed throughout the season. But at the end, you saw him play a little bit more higher up with Torrent. And I thought he excelled there. He wasn't amazing, but I thought he was better than playing that number 6 role next to Taylan. So he could be better, like I said, but he's right in line with the rest of the guys at B, if not better than most, is how I look at it.
Yasin, I would put him in between. I'm fine with B, but in between Gomis and Babel. He played 47 games for us and only has 3 assists. I know about his presence on the field, the Dynamo, really putting pressure everywhere. But to be putting him like quality-wise at Feguli level, I don't think that would be fair. Or Sasha Boy, because I especially Sasha, I really believe in this guy, in this kid. He has a lot of quality in his feet.
Yeah.
And I don't see that with Berkan. When he goes to a goal, I just wish, please don't shoot. Let someone else shoot who can actually shoot, because you can't do it. Go run, put pressure, steal balls. That's what you're good at, but not at finishing or shooting. And I don't see how he's able to improve.
I can't argue too much against that. That's fine with me.
Yeah.
Anyone, any comments there?
No, Yasin pretty much said it all.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah, I mean, he's basically a guy who does what you want. You place him somewhere, he does his best, so I can't complain about Berkan. Yeah, he drives me crazy with his final passes or shots sometimes, but I think that can be improved on.
Yeah, he's still 24, no?
Yeah.
That can be improved.
Yeah, 24 indeed. Momo, Mustafa Mohammed, Habibi.
This is kind of hard just purely based on the fact that he didn't get that many chances.
From either coach, like he barely played.
In
We
my
had Jaka over
opinion,
him.
he has a lot of quality. Like the first day he came, he was really on a run before that red card he got for no reason. Afterwards, he didn't get many opportunities, but what I really see in his playstyle, he's really a forward. But what he does as well is he comes back, does a one touch, plays with the midfield to set up that game, and then runs immediately forward into his striker position to score or head the ball. And if we would play him consistently more often and get in the groove, I think he will be a very valuable player as well. Just, yeah, we had a shit ton of rotation this season. And unfortunately, didn't see much of him.
I mean, yeah, he has 7 goals in the league, so that's something.
It's more than Halil.
Yeah, it is. It's like I want to put him higher because I know that's probably where he deserves to be, but he just couldn't show it because he didn't have any consistency at all.
Mm-hmm.
So it's I don't know. Do you guys think he could be in B tier?
I think that's
My
pretty good one.
initial
B
thing.
of Benzema.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yasin,
yeah,
you want to say
I
something?
would say S tier for Benzema,
Emre,
but
pardon.
go ahead, Emre.
Yeah, I mean, if you put him at the beginning of C tier, that would be kind of disrespectful to him because I feel like he did better than most
Yeah.
of the guys in that C tier. And like John said, a lot of the problems weren't in his hands or the issues, like no consistency with coaches. I believe he could have done more, but he's always given chances. Like last 15 minutes of the game, he just gets thrown in here, do something, and like that's not a good way to see what a player can really do. By the time he goes into the game, he's with people that are not like really in the zone. They're tired. They can't really pass. They won't run, press with him. So he's like on his own most of the time. So yeah, I think he's B tier.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I put him right in between Berkan and Babel. I think
Bobble,
that's
yeah.
fair.
Yeah.
Patrick van Aanholt. So my opinion,
High B.
exactly. And why, Yasin?
He was relatively consistent. He was good defensively. He was good in our offense. I liked his professionalism. Like I said, he was consistent.
Touchy, huh?
He put his heart out on the field whenever he played. Overlapping runs, he had that, which is what you expect from a back. He had inwarded runs too towards the goal. He would shoot. I'll never forget. I hope I never forget that one moment. I know you're
Against
John. I
Rizespor?
know.
Yeah.
No, against
Yep.
Barcelona. John knows what I'm talking about. What I'm about to say.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That angle, Samet, you remember too, bro.
Yeah.
He shot the ball, went right over the post. I swear, I thought that was going into the upper
Bro,
90.
he shot like as he was shooting, Yasin just like grabbed my arm, and bro, we had the most perfect view for that. I thought for sure that was flying in, bro.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I'll never forget that, Yasin. Holy shit.
It was amazing. But no, I like him. Interestingly, I have to say this. It's just while on the topic, I was recently interviewing for a job, and the partner at the company, it's a final interview. He's like, "Oh, you like football?" I'm like, "Yeah, I like football. I'm a Galatasaray fan." He's like, I told him about the podcast, and I found out he's English, and he's a Crystal Palace fan. And he's like, "How's Van Aanholt doing?" And you know my answer. I was super happy to tell him how great he's been. So yeah, I just had to say that I'm happy with him. B, solid B this season. I hope he
Whenever he
stays.
plays, I don't have any thoughts or like I'm never concerned when he's playing.
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
So
It's also a reason why we got him, right? At the beginning of the season. He is not injury prone at all. And he
Like
plays like
Srirachi or Taşdemir, bro. This guy is at least
Exactly.
made out of flesh and bones and not fucking glass.
Exactly.
I'll put him low A, actually.
Low
Low
A.
A. Lowest A. Normally I'm negative. This time I'm a bit more positive. Look, I personally think that the times I was frustrated with him when he tuck in way too deep, like in the central areas, I feel like that's more of an instruction than his own
Yes.
inclination to do that. Because it was consistent, right? He would become like the left center back almost. He was way too central. I don't. I believe that was more of an instruction, really. That's the only reason I
100%.
would put him on low A.
Yeah, I would be okay with that. The only problem with it is that, obviously, we say mid A, high A, low A, but the
Mhm.
fact that he's just in A in the same category as Nelson, Pena, Yunus, like I don't think he was that good. Like
For
how
a
those guys
left
are good.
back, he scored 3 goals, 3 assists.
Yeah, no, he was. Yeah, he had
We
a
had
good
that one
season.
tiki
but
taka moment, man, with him as well.
I think, in my opinion, the first spot in B he should be in. But if everyone agrees at the end of A, I'm fine with that too because he was really good.
Look, the way I see it, again, the signing, his wages are maybe on the higher side, but he's an experienced player. He came on a free. We desperately needed upgrade on that left back side. We don't want to see Ömer Bayram. We don't want to see a non-existent injured player over there. So he filled the gap. He has good vibes. Doesn't complain. Consistent. How many games did he play? He played like a
47.
lot of games. Yeah, that's a lot. And
So
that's why I
yeah,
would put him on the lowest A. Obviously,
I'd
it's not
put him in
Nelson
front
level.
of B. I'd put him in front
Yeah,
of B because
that's
when
what
I
I'm
look at
thinking.
A, I think of people who like shined, who did well
Mm.
or who added more to the game, like Pena. You know what I mean? Like Pena came and he saved us from Ismail Chipe and stuff. Yunus
Mhm.
Akgün assisted how many
But that's
people?
the thing, Emre. If he wasn't there, imagine with a Sarachi or Emre
Emre
Taşdemir
Taşdemir,
injuring and
Ömer
really
Bayram.
getting into stress there. He basically made our left back a stress-free zone.
That's true.
Okay, but then again,
I
Omar
right
did the
back-
same for us.
But right
when
back,
he
we
came.
saw Simi Kaya even play there, or Alpaslan, right? It was still a stressed zone.
I agree with that argument, but I don't think it's enough to put him in A. Like A is A. A is
Come on, bro.
that's
Low
the
A.
best.
Low A.
When you're in school, A is what you're trying to achieve, and that's like A class, A student. Van Aanholt, he could be better. Like
You know what? I'm sick and tired of Samet and Salih always fighting for Dutchies, bro. Like, stop fighting for Dutch rights at every 2 seconds, all right?
Yeah.
All right. Okay,
both are
with
fine
B.
to me, but B makes more sense.
Okay, I'm fine.
Okay,
I,
top of
I,
B
I just don't want to populate B so much.
That's what usually happens though with these things.
That's
Yeah.
what happens when we played fucking horrible all season. Everyone is just mediocre.
I imagined more
know.
on the lower end, but okay.
Well,
Yeah,
you
me
can
too.
bring Babel to C. You could bring
my opinion
Gomez
as
to
well.
C.
Let's
All right,
discuss that
we'll
towards
do
the
that at the
end.
end maybe.
Yeah, we'll do it at the
Yeah.
end. Okay.
All right. Morut-san, who wants to pick this one?
It's your favorite player, right? So I think you get the right to talk about him.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, not necessarily.
I mean,
I do have an idea, but I don't know. You might disagree, but I would probably put him at the end of C.
wow.
And yeah, but okay, here's the thing. The reason why I say that is because so again, he came to the squad and he played well. I'm pretty sure he scored in his first game as well. And it was looking really bright under Fatih Terim. But even then, when he was playing under Fatih Terim, I think we all saw that he could still, he was a little green. He could still use some work. And then
yeah.
Torrent came in, and that was pretty much the end of that. But I don't think he's not a bad player though. That's
He's
the
not a
thing.
polished football player that
Yeah,
knows the ins and outs, the
yeah.
professionalism. He's not
Yeah,
a football player yet.
yeah, and
Is how I feel.
okay, and because another thing is too, if you look at the list we have now, so if you put him just where you left him at the end of C, if you look at all the players below him, if you asked me if I would rather have any of those players on the pitch, I would say no. I'd rather have him on the pitch than any of those players.
Mhm.
Like,
So-
would you
so-
rather have Barış or Morutsan? I would have Morutsan.
Yeah, me too. I would too. So it's like
Yeah.
I don't want to put him any lower than that, but the players that are in C, I don't want to put him in front of any of those players either. So that's why I
Yeah.
think, the end of C is fitting.
And to add to that, John, he also had the same fate as Mustafa. He constantly got minutes towards the end of the game, got thrown into the game. Here, do something. Provide me with some magic, something like that.
Yeah.
And just expecting way too much of him. And then he
Yeah.
played way less under Torrent.
Yeah.
So I'd put him in C.
To say like he's A or S or B, he needed a better performance this season and more consistent performance. So
Yeah.
no, I can agree with that. Semih Kaya.
E. I don't think anyone disagrees.
Yeah, I mean,
It's fine. Like, what did he do actually? He filled in like twice, I think.
Yeah, he didn't
And
do
of those
really
two
much.
times, he had one
Yeah.
poor performance.
like
He
he's
was in F.
okay. Well, you can just say it this way. So he definitely can't go in fuck right off tier. Definitely not.
Right.
Mhm.
And if you look at the players in D tier, like you have Alpaslan and Ömer there, I'd probably rather, in terms of defense, I'd probably use them before I would use Semi.
I'd put Samet in the front of E. That's fair enough.
I think
Yeah, I
Everyone
think-
else.
Yeah.
I'd even use like E is good at the end. If you look at next to him, it's iTouch. I'd probably use iTouch before I use Semi.
Probably.
So-
Probably.
But wait, iTouch is not a center back though. He's
I know
a
this.
center defensive midfielder.
no,
Yeah,
but
but
I was
Jetson
just
is
saying
also
in-
not a center back. What's your point?
No, I was saying like I was thinking in general though. Like who would I include? Actually, that's tough because iTouch for me can probably be in fuck right off tier too. Fuck. Now that I think of it, I don't know.
Mm.
I mean,
Well,
not that it
yeah,
makes a big difference. It is what it is.
What you say, Yasin?
Right there is fine. Not a big deal. E is
Behind?
fine. E is
Okay.
doesn't matter.
Yeah. Let's pick. Okay, the only guy I actually love on Instagram, Mr. Jagne himself. So
Mr. King Kong.
You guys are gonna heavily disagree with me.
I
But
think his cardio is S tier. If you look at his Instagram vids, he's soaked in water always. So
Who was it that said that they think he just throws water on himself and then takes pictures?
I think that
Mazhar, I think.
I said that, and I think that's actually true. It's not possible for a human to sweat that much.
You'd be surprised.
You'd
Some
be
people
surprised,
sweat
yeah.
a lot.
Really?
Yeah, there's this one basketball player the Houston Rockets are looking to get, Paulo Banchero. Apparently, he sweats like 10 pounds of sweat every game.
bruh.
Damn.
Think
Oh,
about
wow,
that.
man. 10 pounds. Jesus.
So I think that this is the first one I think where we're gonna have some pretty wildly different opinions. So
Hey,
I Samet, I see you dropped him at the end of A, so you can start if you want.
No, just I had to drop him to check something, but he
Okay.
had 22 games, 4 goals, 2 assists. How was his performance this season? Not great. We were cussing him out a lot, but there were also games where he actually did do well. Again, our striker position has been such a problem this season with the rotations and not having a fixed striker. I'd probably put him at the end of B. Would I say he's better than Gomes?
Wow.
No. Better than Momo? No. Chikuldao
I'd
is
put
next
him-
to him. I'm fine with this. I think.
I would put him in front of D or the end of C.
Oh wow.
I'll put
Personally,
him E or D.
whoa,
Yeah, I was gonna say at the front of D.
yeah.
damn.
This
I-
guy's-
I've
this
never-
guy's not
I-
a footballer.
I've never in my life liked him. I think he's D for dog shit. I think that's where he should go. I think he's a shit footballer. Like as simple as that. I do not think he's good. I think he
That
misses
is-
easy chances. I don't think he's particularly fast. I don't think he's like good with the ball. He's just big.
Clunky.
Like he has a physical presence, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like I do not think he's a good footballer, and I think that we grossly overpaid for him. Like that's
13
absolute
mil.
Yeah, but that
criminal.
was years ago.
Criminal.
And
Criminal.
people seem to forget we also loaned him out for very high fees. Like we definitely won back half of his fee already. 100% sure of that.
Mhm.
Bruges, right? And
Yeah,
West Brom.
Bruges, West Brom, and all those.
Also, think of it as this, when you're trying to sub in people for the game, right into the game, would you pick him over anybody in C? I probably wouldn't. I would rather put Halil in.
What?
Me too.
You'd
Me too.
rather put
Yeah.
Thailand or Pulgar instead
Well,
of
depending, okay, so
Oh,
Halil,
striker-wise?
striker material, right? You can also argue I would put Morutsan to play with the striker or something, or Emre Kılınç to try to make an impact going forward. Obviously, I wouldn't put Emin Bayram or
Jug-
Pulgar.
Jugna has qualities that
Yeah.
a lot of our strikers don't, or he's good
Well-
at certain things. But John touched on a few things that really made me think too. I was originally thinking C, like at the end of C, but you guys have decent arguments for D too. I don't know.
Like he isn't the worst player. I wouldn't put him in E. Like he still did something, right? Like
Yeah, for sure. I wouldn't put him in E. You're right about that.
yeah,
But
I'd
it's
put
like,
him in front of D.
yeah.
That'd be
end
my-
of C, which could be better.
I mean,
I
I
would
guess
put him D.
I,
We have
well,
three for
it's
D. So
Three
If we
D
need-
and
if-
one C.
yeah, like the thing is, if we need to compromise, the end of C is, I guess, acceptable. It's
Okay,
I wouldn't
I
be
hear the
well,
acceptable.
voice.
because Summit had him at B.
Yeah.
Okay,
All right, fine. C.
D.
End of C.
D is fine.
Well,
D.
well, Summit is
Summit,
the
Summit. Don't give in. Don't give in, Summit.
Summit is he's the big social media guy, so of course he's gonna put him in B.
No,
Come
no,
on.
no. If I think about it, would I put him in? No, I'm gonna go back to
Bro,
C.
Summit, you probably have
All right,
better
go-
control
let-
on the
let's-
ball than him.
Let's go back to John's thinking, like his big thinking. If somebody showed you this list and you saw Jugnet at C, and if somebody showed you and saw Jugnet at D, which one make you think, all right, whoever made this list, they don't know what they're talking about?
The C one,
Like Ju-
obviously, for me at least.
Next
Like-
to Mototan, Halil,
Yeah,
Thailand, maybe you're right. Maybe you're right.
I really don't know. I think if he was at the end of C or beginning of I don't know now that you put it like okay. I think
Jugna our worst striker.
If-
But isn't he our worst striker?
I think he's good at the end of C. I think
Yeah.
I think
My
that's
bad,
good.
John. You
All
found
I
right.
think that's okay.
All right, there you go.
All right, awesome. Salih,
Yeah.
we can check later.
Bro, but Tamam, yeah, we'll do it later.
Eve dönüşte sana alırım. Let's take one interesting. Emre Akbaba.
Ooh.
Really interesting. I see your whoa. I don't know. Your mouse is hovering around pretty low there.
What do you mean? No. Of course not. Look, at Galatasaray, he had an unfortunate injury, came back very bad. And at Spor, he actually found himself again. And his value actually increased because of it. People want to buy him again. He did 40 games, 13 goals, 6 assists for a midfielder. If you look at the B and the C, what we have over there, I have to
Yeah.
think where I put him. But would I put in Morutsan or Emre at C? I would put Emre Akbaba.
So let
Emre
me just say,
Kılınç or Emre Akbaba again.
Well,
Well-
why would you put Yunus at A then, since he has 17 assists and like
Yeah,
how many
No,
goals,
I'm
and
getting
then put
there.
him
I'm
at
getting
C?
there. And then we're
I
going to
was-
B.
yeah,
Go ahead,
okay.
John. Go ahead, John.
No, I was gonna ask just right off the bat, like right even before we start arguing any of this. Is there anyone here that would consider him for A tier?
No.
No.
Okay, so
Alanya.
surely he would have to be somewhere in B tier then.
Yeah,
No,
I
probably
think
like
I would say towards the lower end of B.
No.
Yeah.
But for
not-
Alanya,
not-
though,
not with
I'm
his
looking at for
performance.
Alanya, right? He has
I don't
13
see
goals.
what that matters. He has a sick performance.
For Alanya. Yeah, for us, he was
Okay,
dog
first
shit,
of
but-
all, why are you placing him at Van
Oh,
Aanholt?
okay, yeah. That's we gotta relax on that. Bro,
Like he's another
Samet-
example. Go
Sorry,
ahead,
again.
John.
No, yeah. So go ahead, bro.
I was just gonna say he's another example of a player who does well outside of Gala, comes to Gala, and is
Yeah.
right?
Agreed. I wouldn't want him back. I would actually prefer he stays at Alanya since he's playing
He's
well
not
there.
coming back.
Yeah.
He's not coming back.
He's
They
not
say he
coming
doesn't
back?
want to come back anyways. That's what
I
I'm
don't blame
reading.
him.
You believe that?
I don't blame him either. I believe it. I believe it for a lot of reasons. Like he has worth. I think we'll sell him and move on.
Well,
But-
And the
he
fans
said-
hate him.
He said, I think it was this week, he made a comment where he was like, if he's not in the plans to be like a main player in the squad, then he doesn't want to return, right? He said something like that.
Yeah,
they,
would
they
you?
even
He's
said
scoring 10 goals, 13 goals elsewhere.
they even said if Fatih Terim comes back, then I'm not gonna come back to Gala. Which is such a bullshit Twitter.
I didn't read that one, but
Yeah. Anyway, so
Yeah.
okay, we agree on B though, and where in B is the question now?
I feel like we should just drop him like in the middle of B.
I put
Okay.
him in front of
Okay.
Berkan. Stat wise, he's doing.
okay.
Different roles though. It's again hard. I know they're both midfielders, but Emre Akbaba is more like almost like a second striker thing,
Mhm.
while Erkan is more of a box-to-box midfielder.
Mhm.
So
Mm-hmm.
it's
Yeah.
still difficult. But at the middle, probably fine. He
Okay.
still has
Next
how many
to
goals?
Chikil
13?
Dao.
I think that's fine ahead of Berkan. I'm actually okay with that just because of his success.
Mm-hmm.
At Alanya,
Sam.
Samet.
Yeah. All right.
I'm fine to move on from this.
Yes.
Yeah.
We've been. All right. Okay.
Ozan
think-
Wafor.
Valentin
Wait,
Ozan Wafor.
Do we have any other?
Another loney.
Okay.
Ozan
another
Wafor.
loanee.
I don't know.
Ozan Wafor. He's been playing consistently in Belgian league. He's been chosen man of the match many times, player of the month. Actually, the rumors are that they did the clause where they had to pay 100K for him. Apparently, we had a 100K clause on him, and they use it. Rumors, of course. But if we look at stats wise, I would put him probably. Where's Emin? There we go.
He's in
Next
D.
to Emin.
Wallah, no idea, man. He played 20 minutes for us, I think, throughout his whole career. Like, he had one sub against... Let me think. I think it was that 6-0 game against Antep or 5-0, whatever.
Oh,
He came on.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
about it. I don't know anything else about him.
Maybe
The
on
thing
the
is-
lower
Fine.
end of C is better.
Yeah, because the thing is, like, where you had him before, you had him in front of Halil. I think was it in front of Thailand too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
No.
the point I'm making, regardless of how he played for that club, I just can't see it being greater contributions than those players made, like Thailand and the guys that are in there.
Yeah.
Like, I just
17 games, no goals, no assists.
Yeah, I mean, middle of the at the end of the middle of the road, C tier at the end of it. I think that's fair. I don't want to judge him too harshly because we've been hearing good things about how he's playing. I haven't actually seen anything myself. It's just us hearing, oh, player of the month, this, that. So I think that's fair. I don't know if you guys agree with that.
On the
It's
stat
okay.
thing as well, we should maybe take it a bit with a grain of salt as well. From what I've seen, he plays at Charleroi, I believe.
Yeah.
They do play with a three at the back system, right? They have three center backs, so he's like the center one. That also does play maybe into the fact that he has a bit of an easier job defending.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
that's all I can say because, as John
Yeah.
mentioned, we haven't seen him, so
Yeah.
really
Okay.
hard to judge.
We're gonna go to a lot of loanees. Maybe let's do that actually played for us first. Old John.
Ozan for me is a D.
Yeah.
Maybe in the beginning of D.
I would go as far as to say you have an argument for E as well.
Yeah. These loanees, I think we should just like fly through these guys.
Yeah.
Like Oljan, I'm fine with D or E. I mean, it's
I would put Badish ahead of him.
yeah.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
Do we judge Oljan the winger or Oljan the right back?
Yeah, let's not get into that. I'll
Yeah.
go
Yeah,
to
let's go.
Okan Kocuk.
Or Kankoch?
D. I don't know, too far ahead of B. Maybe like.
well, for us, he was not too great, not too bad,
Mhm.
but
I would
for
yeah.
Giresun, he's doing good. So I don't
Yeah,
know.
I-
Somewhere
maybe-
in B.
Lower B with that.
He started
Yeah,
great, right? But he fell off a bit. Yasin can probably confirm.
Yes, that's correct, Salih.
And see now things are getting like messy. Like, should Babel really be behind Gomis?
Yeah, why not?
Babel is like 3 places behind Gomis.
So
But
don't
Gomez, at the end of the day, he scored. He did what he
Exactly.
needed to do.
I thought Babel played better all season. Like,
So maybe
better-
put
I don't know.
Emre and Berkan in front of Gomes then. I
Okay,
guess?
let's just fly through the rest. and
let's
then
fly
check.
through the
before.
rest. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay.
I'm gonna show you the rest here, and we have
Oh wow, that's
okay.
a lot.
Khan
Well-
Arslan. We didn't see him. 2 games, got injured.
Gave away the ball.
You know what we should do? Below F, we should just make another tier, like an irrelevant tier. Like they either didn't play that much or we don't have enough information. We didn't see that much about,
That's a good
Yeah,
idea.
that's
Let's
fair.
I'll keep him like here then at the
Yeah, sure.
and then Sekidika.
Also, we didn't see him, right?
No.
No, but I don't think he played that much at his
Yeah,
loan.
that's the thing, yeah.
That's a bad. Isn't that a
Yeah.
bad marking then?
Well,
Belgium, he was-
I'd say F. No. E.
E or D.
F,
Yeah,
At
I would
the-
say
at the
like
end of the-
E-ish. Yeah.
21 games, 2 goals, 1 assist. Played first league.
Okay.
Nothing much.
I think the rest of those, just looking through it, is there anything?
Bro, don't you see him? Berk Balaban. He had a Champions League performance when he came on.
Yeah, Berk Balaban, Süleyman Luş,
That's
Gökay
Emre touching
Güney.
it, I think.
That's not Lucius. I'm gonna touch it.
Wait, let
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
they look the same, man.
Emre touched him. Since you already have him, I would put him at like the end of C. And when he plays
Whoa.
for us, he's very solid. I like
Yes.
Emre Taşdemir
That is true.
That's the thing. When he plays.
when he plays
I'd
for
put
us.
him at
I feel like more of a D.
D.
Yeah. I also wouldn't. Yeah, that's where I would put him at the
He,
end.
he didn't even consistently play for Giresunspor. So
So that speaks. In
That's
itself.
unfortunate, but
Hospital player.
All right, so Gökay Güney, Süleyman Luş, Erkan
we-
Süer.
Gökhan Güney would be like an E for me. I had so much hope for Gökay, but
Really?
Me too.
did not
me too.
deliver.
He's 23
He's
now,
gotten-
right? He still
He's
hasn't
gotten
done
old
anything.
too. Yeah.
Hmm.
So I think
Prospect in that
the
role
rest,
this
the rest of them, I think, are in place. So that leaves us with the coaches, which I think is going to be interesting.
Yep.
Ooh.
Let's put Fatih Terim straight up in front of Kerem, S tier, where he
No,
belongs.
All
No.
right.
Yep, I agree.
If we're not gonna meme,
Hold up.
No,
Hold
no,
up.
I'm
We're
no,
just
talking
kidding.
about
I'm
this
just
season,
kidding. I'm
aren't
just
we?
kidding. I'm just kidding, bro.
No, not you. I was talking to Salih.
What do you mean? Do you think I'm serious? Come on.
I don't know, bro.
can I take
Yeah,
Fatih
Emre-
Hoca?
Go ahead.
Emre.
Emre.
All right. So I love Terim. I would not put him in S tier. Obviously, Summit is joking, but okay. So if we look at Terim, there's 2 sides to Terim. There's the European sweaty sweatshirt Terim, who got us through the group stage, the hardest group stage, without a single loss. And what 1 goal conceded? 1 to 3 goals, I think it was, conceded throughout the whole stages.
Mhm.
And then you have the Fatih Hoca for the league. Now,
8-game match ban.
8, okay. So Fatih Hoca did have some things he couldn't control in his hand, like Marcao. But there are things that he could have controlled, like his substitutions or his game strategies, his fight with the TFF. Yes, he got a game ban, 5-match ban, which should have been 1, just like Sergen. But it was 5. But he could have controlled that. He did not have enough support from Burak Elmas. So if we consider all that, I would put him at B. For me personally,
Before we put him in a place, I think there's another consideration.
yeah.
He built this team that we
did
just
build this
finished,
team.
right? This is a team that he built.
Mm-hmm.
And we had problems in a lot of different areas.
Right.
And that's also because he built that team that way. I think that needs to be considered when we give him a rating.
Also, yeah, I would say that as well. To be fair, again, I'm considering both. Like, if it was just for the season, I would probably put him at the back of C, the very end of C, or beginning of D, right? But his European run was like for me
Mhm,
S tier,
mhm.
right?
Yeah,
So if
yeah.
like again, and when he left the league, yes, we were 12th place, but remember the point distribution was very close with the top. We were 12th, but Trabzon was like 8 points away from us at first place. So there was
Yep.
not a
We
big, you know.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, we were
S-
attacking a lot of goal
Yeah,
chances, but
we
like
had a lot of attacking opportunities. We did get screwed by the Federation quite a bit.
mhm.
And despite
Mhm.
that, we still, in my eyes, we were still doing okay. Not the best, but not the worst in the league.
I
But
think if
European
he
wise,
stayed and had the second half of the season, we would have been able to make a better judgment. But considering the performance of the first half, where we ended, and all things that were managed by him, top of C would be my choice. Could have been better, but well, we didn't see him next
well, for
second
me, it would be
season.
B for if you put European standards in place, because that you have to give that props because S like we had the hardest group in Europa League, and we got out of it
And that's
unbeaten,
unheard of for us.
and
That's
that's
unheard
unheard
of.
of.
Yeah.
An
And
anomaly.
yeah, and he did it with this team,
Yeah.
right? Everyone likes to like dump on this team, but he did it with this team. So
That's
I
true.
I think that deserves some. I wouldn't put him in the beginning of B. I'd put him somewhere in the middle of B.
I mean,
Personally,
because the thing is with this too is, I mean, like, let's face it, if we would have scored more goals, he would still have a job.
right?
And it's as simple as that. We weren't scoring goals and things were going downhill.
So he
And
did his job, and all the players at B could have done better than him. So that makes
If
him
all the players in
top of
B
B.
and C did their jobs more efficiently, he would be at A, basically, or maybe even S, because we don't know. Because maybe he would have won the Europa League. We would never know. That's the problem. But you can't always blame the players as well. See, that's the thing with me. You can't only blame the players. He had a lot of mistakes with the players himself.
like, yeah, I have a feeling there's a lot of people that are going to be pissed off with this, that he's at the front of B, but everything you just said, man, like the
Mhm.
European run is unheard of for us. Like we've been getting smashed in Europe for so many years now. It's
Yeah.
this was just unbelievable.
You can look at it
And
like this, John. S tier and A tier are the players that did their job. B tier, we put him right at top because we think he did his job. And the players behind him on B tier, if they would have done their job, it would have lifted him up as well.
pretty much, pretty much. I mean,
Probably, yeah.
And that's the
I
reason why
know-
these players are at B.
yeah, like I know that there's a lot of people that would probably say D or something like that. Just and the usual stuff. You know, he gets suspended for no reason. He has no tactics. He's the list is endless for the negative things people say about Fatih Terim. And I'm not saying they're wrong. You know, there's some weight to that certainly, but yeah, I think my point is that he had an unbelievable run in Europe, and that if we could score goals, I think he would still have a job. So just based on that, I think
Mhm.
B is fair.
Also,
know.
other factors as well with the league and the federation that really did play into a lot of our problems as
Yeah.
well.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, I will never only put the blame on one thing. There's multitude of things that Fatih Tatum did that wasn't good.
Yeah.
And then, well, Dominic Torrent came after Terim. How did we think he performs on the tier list?
You know what? Actually, I think this has to be the one where the fans are the most like. I'm sure there's a portion of fans where he goes right to the back of fuck off tier, and then I'm sure there's a portion of fans where they're like maybe put him in C.
That's
I-
probably me. I'd put him in front of C or mid C.
Yeah,
Same,
yeah,
I'd do that.
that's what I was thinking. And I mean, there isn't much to say that we haven't already said about Torrance. Like, came in really shitty situation, did what he could, not the best results.
Mhm.
You know, we held our own in that next round in the Europa League, almost made it through. Um, it's tough to judge him, man. I don't know. He hasn't done the greatest, obviously. But it's a tough situation. So
Yeah. Any
yeah, I would
objection to
say
put
C.
him on top of C?
Let me
Alright.
think of it. No, I think the thing is, I think Torrent is just sort of the opposite of Terim. I think Terim is a very good like man manager in a way. Like I think the way he handles with the players. We also saw it with the Markau Kerem incident, for example. He ended that very well. Torrent just, from what he says at least, seems to be the complete opposite. He seems to be less about the motivational part and more about, oh, you got to do it this way. You know, more about the tactic side. So
Yeah, yeah.
it again. C is fine. You could also put him at D. I mean, the performances weren't all that great, but for me, the real judgment comes next year. If he's still with us, then
Yeah,
we'll
for
see
sure.
what he's up to.
Yeah.
If he has like one or two signings and
That's what we always
can
said,
build his team
indeed.
a bit more. I know exactly. So
And
fine.
Samet, just before you introduce our last
Our
pick,
imposter.
I ju- I just want to tell everyone listening and not that I can't physically see the tier list. As Salih was just explaining his idea for torrent, Samet has picked up the Burak Elmas picture and has dragged him all the way to the depths of the fuck off tier, as far back as you can possibly put him. So I guess that speaks in itself for Samet. Right to
No,
the
no, of course not. That's
no.
not even me doing that. I think I'm not even touching the mouse. It's somehow
Yeah.
hovering over there.
Destiny.
But Burak Elmas, honestly, I was joking around, but if I really think about it, as a president, how was his performance for the whole year? What did he do? He made transfers on time. Nice for Terim. He started a project with many promises. I don't recall actually finishing any of his promises. He turned whole of Galatasaray against himself. He broke Galatasaray into two segments. He, I mean, he shut up against TFF because he's a pussy. Yeah, no, I was joking, but yeah, to
Wow.
the depths of F tier it would be my choice.
This is very high on him.
What has he done correctly? I wonder. Can anyone tell
Nothing.
me?
I so I probably can't tell you what he's done correctly, but the one and only thing that I think he did well, and it just so happens to be the most important thing to me personally, is the direction he was trying to take the club in a footballing aspect, in a footballing
Oh yeah,
sense.
that's true.
His ideas for that were very good, and I think his execution was pretty good too, considering the amount of time he was, in office. So, but then everything else you said, Samet, is entirely true. Like everything that everyone knows by now, like all the different things he's promised, and just everything didn't really go that well. But that for me, of course, everyone has their own ideas what the president should be like, what they should do. And the thing that I care about, I'm not really an administration guy, and I don't pay too much attention to that aspect. I look at the footballing aspect of everything, and I think the direction he was trying to go in was the right direction, and a direction we haven't seen in the club for years. So I'll give him that, but I can't really give him anything other than that.
He
So I,
tried, but he failed, so he goes to the F for fail.
Does anyone have an objection for that? Otherwise, if no, I do have a question on Burak Elmas for you guys.
let's hear it.
It's not specifically on Burak Elmas itself, but do you think, in the way that Galatasaray operates with its presidential system, do you think it's actually even possible to go for this whole project thing, rejuvenating the squad, because you only have an X amount of years to do it? And if you want to stay in power or be popular, what do you usually opt for? Well, short-term success. You go for immediate success and get, praise like Gomis and such. So do you actually think it's viable, is my question to you guys, now that we've seen how it can pan out?
I think it's not. Especially seeing how it panned out, like you say. He tried it, it made sense, very logical, go towards a more professional architecture, management board, people in charge, some professionalism here and there. But we're talking about Turkey. It doesn't work in Turkey. And if I had to think of an analogy, it's like putting a shark in a goldfish tank. It just won't work. The goldfishes will die. And the goldfishes are these European professionals that try to make the tank look nice and pretty, but there there's so many fucking sharks in Turkey. They'll eat you alive. And that's actually what
Yeah.
happened.
I mean, the way I understood Salih's question was, these long-term projects obviously take much longer time than just that president's term on average, right? 3 to 4 years, sometimes usually much less. In this situation, 1 year. So does it make sense for a president like Burak Elmas, who might get fired in a year, to start a 3, 4, 5 year project? And my answer to that would be, in theory, yes, because that is what Galatasaray kind of stands on, right? They say, okay, we're not bringing outside owners. We promote our presidents and our board within, people who went to Galatasaray High School, people who've been around Galatasaray for a long time, and hopefully, again, in theory, people who love Galatasaray and want the best for Galatasaray, not just today, but also 10 years from now. We'll talk about it more in detail another time, but today, during Dursun Özbek and what's the other guy's name? What's
Erden
his name?
Timur.
Adam Timur, he's like, okay, we want a Galatasaray that is just makes not us happy today, but our kids 10 years from now and their kids 10 years from now. So they start these projects in hope that the next guy who comes around continues that project. And even if you can say, hey, Yasin, I was president today and I started this project and it was finished by Samet and Emre and Samet, whatever after that, that's something to be proud of. And I guess, long story short, Salih, to answer your question, I think it's possible, but we haven't really been seeing that, unfortunately, because every single president has a different idea. It seems like it.
As long as these fossils continue to run rampant in our club, this club will never see like extremely long-term results based on one president laying down a foundation and letting presidents down the future continue. I don't see that ever happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much all there is about that.
All right. I think we can round up the rest and see if it's okay as we have it. Maybe should we put these as well just for the sake of putting them somewhere?
The ones that we can't judge?
Does it not let you add like an extra aisle or no?
Can't be bothered right now with that. What I'll do
Okay.
is I'll just
I
say the
just
stats,
leave this
maybe.
Just
Or
leave
leave
this
it.
list up.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can just leave this
Well,
one.
I mean,
This
at
list
least
is fine.
Khan Arslan deserves something, like next to Gökay Göney or something. He's played two
Deserves
games.
something. There's something bad.
Participation award.
Yeah, I guess.
I think he still has potential, so it feels a little bit but
Front of E.
I would have said maybe D, or like
Played
end of
2
D.
games. Yeah.
I don't know. He
But
works
that's-
too.
He was fine. I think it's like this is good. And then we have
was
Berk
fine.
Balaban. He messed up, but he played 2 games. We didn't see much of him, so.
What I've read is he's
True.
good for a youth player.
Mm-hmm.
There's potential.
For
but
now,
we
I
have
would
yet
put
to
him
see
low
it.
because I just do it based on what I see, not necessarily the potential. But
Okay.
D is fine because it's still, it's low D. It's fine.
Yeah. Erkan
Let's
Suer
see next.
plays at Nide. 17 games, 1 goal. Nothing spectacular. Süleyman Lush. 18 games, 3 assists at Bandırmaspor. And up to Samet Karnucu. Not that great either. Okay, let's keep it like this. Let's have a look at the overview. So, to round up, we have S tier, Kerem up top, next to that, Marcao. A tier, Nelson, and then Yunus Akgün, Muslera, and then Ineki Peña. B tier, Fatih Terim, Patrick Van Aanholt, Feguli, Sasha Boy, Omar El Abdullahi, Buffetin Gomis, Emre Akbaba, Berkan
Akraba.
Berkan Kutlu, oops, and then Momo, Ryan Babel, and Chikildao. C tier, we have Dominic Torrent, Okan Kocuk, Emre Kılınç, Emin Bayram, Erik Pulgar, Taylan Antalyalı, Halil Dervişoğlu, Morutsan, King Kong, and Ozon Wafor. D tier, we have Barış Alper Yılmaz, Oğulcan Çağlayan, Alpaslan,
Alpaslan.
Ömer Bayram, Emre Taşdemir, Kaan Arslan. E tier, İsmail Cipe, Luyendama, Aytaç Kara, Semih Kaya, Sekidika, Gökay Güney. F tier starts with our president Burak Elmas, Arda Turan, Fatih Öztürk, Ali Yavuz Kol, Bartu Fakaf, Elmas. And then that's it. I'm fine with this.
Yep, looks good to me.
Yeah.
Looks solid.
Yeah.
All right, let's then end the show. It's been a very long podcast, an hour more than usual. I think it's good to end the season like this. Once again, I'd like to thank our listeners and DM us on Twitter at TheLionsDenGS if you have questions or you want to interact with us. And if you want to come on the podcast, DM us as well. You can come here and defend yourself. Thanks all.
All right. See ya. Bye bye.
Cheers.
Peace.
Take care.